suburb, I'm going to say the Storm are going to win. I just think this is a really young Gisborne team. They're going to get some players back throughout the course of the season. I think the Storm might take the chocolates.
In the grand final rematch here at Gardner Reserve, just about to get season 2023 underway. As we say a big welcome to Joel Peterson.
John Norton holds the ball aloft and gets things underway in this new season. The grand finalists of last year at the home of the Premiers. And a quick kick forward for the Dogs, taken immediately and passed off inside forward 50. A lightning start mark taken by Zach Dennehy. 25 out, 45-degree angle to the left. This would be some kind of way to launch into the campaign. First kick for Dennehy in his new colours. For the first of the season for the Dogs. He's got it! Loves it off the boot! And a pack of Dogs rush to him. Every Gisborne player on the ground comes in to celebrate with Zach Dennehy. And the Dogs are on the board inside a minute. One straight to the Storm yet to score. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
That all came from a centre bounce, which the new ruckman for Storm, Brereton, got his hands on the ball, but it was Gisborne that got it out of the centre, and a lovely kick forward by James Fox.
Perfect start to season 2023 as Blake wins the tap down in the path of Flynn Lakey. And we're all tied up. He was grabbed in a strong tackle and will do it all again. Smack bang in the middle of Gardner Reserve. There's just a little bit of moisture still hanging around. Let's hope we don't get too much of it. Lakey did well. It was a strong tackle. Hands and knees. Wilson, he was doing well for the Storm and will be another stoppage and will do it all again. One straight 6 Gisborne. Storm, they are yet to score. We've gone a minute and a half. Open turn.
Very young on-ball crew for the Dogs, that's for sure. Graham had to play it off the tap. Going to ground is Brent Catazzano, and he's been judged to have been holding the ball in that contest. So free kick to Riley Wilson of the Storm, sends Strathfieldsaye inside the forward 50, over the head of Sharp, taken out the back. Spear had a play on it, picked up Exel, first opportunity for him in the new colours, and he's got a goal as well. Lovely bit of roving from Jack Exel, threw it on the left boot and stuck it through. And we're tied at one straight 6 through 2 minutes. And if this is anything to go by, Norm, this could be a very entertaining afternoon.
From what we've seen so far, both sides, when they get the ball, they're moving it quick into their forward lines, which makes it hard for the back line. They were able to get a spoil there with the Gisborne boys, but excellent bit of roving, and where he had to be front and centre at a marking contest.
Blake again, he's up against the Storm ruckman in Jed Brereton. He's got a big job this afternoon. The ball spills wide to the outside wing. It's a bouncing ball, nice pick up. Now the Dogs will go forward. It's a high floating ugly ball. Just, in fact, it might have gone out of bounds on the floor. Geez, it was only centimetres in that. It just will be a ball in 30 metres around from the goal that the Dogs are attacking. We're all tied up, 1-6 apiece, 3 minutes gone, open turn.
Underneath our broadcast position here in the balcony, the club rooms at Gardner Reserve. Overcast skies, wind picking up, a little rain coming across from the north. Diving on top of the football is Ryan Burt, a Trentham product, who's headed to Gisborne this year. We've seen a bit of him over the years, Normie.
Yes, very good footballer, lovely mover.
Reaching up this time, Ruckman's Powell, and a clearing kick of Moorhead has barely travelled the distance and been marked by Brent Catazzano. 40 from home, just better than a 45-degree angle out to the right. In the reserves grand final last season, Diana and Brent Catazzano, 3 senior games between rounds 16 and 18. Just the 1 goal in the seniors last season. Starts his kick out to the right. They're not particularly close, and it's through for a minor score. Dogs by that point, 4 played. Opening term, Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Luke Webb will kick it in for the Storm. Sporting a beard is Luke Webb. Just a bit unsure where to go. Decides to go into the back pocket, deep to Moorhead, the Nicholson medalist. He'll go further afield. Short pass to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe now just assessing his options. Sends it back whence it came to Tim Blanford. So they've swung across goal, over possessing Webb again. He short passes and finds a teammate. Handball forward. That goes into the direction of Webb. Webb will go long and wide, and now the Storm are away.
A good patient football there by Storm. Waited till they had somebody in the open.
They come back here inside the D50. Ratcliffe's got it again. Former Storm Junior measures his pass and does it well to Mays. Handball off to Mulquitty. And now they work it through a chain of handballs to Strathfieldsaye. Left foot kick inside forward 50 came from Cal McCarty, or up toward the 50 anyway. And it's been chopped off by Blake, who's back in the hole for the Dogs. Sends it wide. Finds Liam Spear, he's got it scoreboard side. Dogs by a point through 5.5. Chips it short, drop close Shapano. Sliding in to take it away was Moorhead. Kick around the body straight into Mulquitty. Picked up by Slater. He was a little bit aggressive in his attack on the footy against his former team and gives away a free kick that will be taken by Ryan Burke between the wing and right half forward.
Dishes off quickly and it'll be a quick entry inside forward 50. Poor kick. Intended target there was Powell. In fact, sorry, Luxmore, wrong team there, Joel. Luxmore, both wearing the 15s, of course, and it's gone out of bounds on the full, but disappointing result there, mate.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed for Gisborne in the early part of it, Jed Denner, he does the ruck work up forward so Blake can stay a kick behind the game.
And he does do the ruck work on that occasion, but it was swooped on by McCarty. Handball in the direction of Harvey, back into the Storm side this season. Good strong tackling Dogs. Umpires letting it go, good umpiring. It's just a sea of players around the footy. They're just dishing it around. A hurry kick out of the pack by the Dogs. Good strong mark. And Zach Danahy's got his hands on the footy. Marked it in front of his eyes. 45-degree angle. 30 metres out from goal. Line up for his second.
Yes, once again, Zach, he just stood back behind three Strat players. He sized it up. He took the leap, and we know, or I've seen firsthand at Harcourt, how good he is above head, and that's twice in this game he's done it.
Causing some headaches, particularly for Joseph Mays, who looks like he's got the job on him this afternoon. But his second kick for the Gisborne Bulldogs, will it be a goal? His second goal. Geez, he celebrated almost as it comes straight off the boot. So that extends the lead now to Gisborne. I'll go to 2-1-13. The Storm have yet to score. We're approaching the 10-minute mark. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, with Zach Dennehy, if he's got good disposal coming into him, he'll kick plenty of goals this year. He'll be a spearhead. You said about Mays got a big job, and also Ratcliffe, Lockie Ratcliffe's had the job on Jack Dennehy, and they're both undersized for defenders.
Just correction there, Storm of course did score that good goal in the other end, Giles.
So Dogs by 7, through 7 in the opening term. Here's the number 7, Quinn Lakey for the Dogs in the centre. Handball straight back into the mess, they all pile on. Eventually it squirts out the back, Moorhead's in there to lay a tackle. And we'll have a ball up. Raring to go up in ruck. The youngster out of Echuca, wins it down. Storm quick kick forward. Shannon Geary chases after the football, uses the body well. Flying through the pack there was Mulquitty. He couldn't take it for Strathfieldsaye. Will have a ball up about 70 metres out from the Storm goal. Left half forward, kicking to the Jacksons Creek at the northern end here in this opening term. They trail by 7.
Moorhead, he's busy for the Storm. He's probably their most prominent player, but it will be the Dogs who bring it forward. Intended target, got a hand on it, was Luxmore. He did well, but rebounding off the back of the square was Blandford. He goes into the middle. He finds Stevens. Stevens puts it inside forward 50. The Storm, they look to attack. On the end of a handball was Sharp. Goes around the body on the left, and he knows where the goals are and pops it through for his second. His first of season 2023. We're in 2-1-13 Gisborne. The Storm are 2 goals straight 12. We've gone 9 minutes in the opening term.
Yes, that was a great goal from Lockie Sharp there. He ran onto the handball from Jack Exel, and it's going to make Lockie's job a lot easier this year with Exel up forward as the second string attack as well.
Sort of that medium forward, isn't he?
He is, yes. Well, that's twice now he's been great at ground level.
It's very, very sharp below his knees. Of course, son of Gavin, the former Northern United champion goal kicker. Brother Jaden, a pretty handy footballer for Sandhurst and a number of clubs. Gisborne get the clearance, but Webb's able to repel it for the Storm. Toward the Aitken Street side of the ground. Thrown down and a strong tackle there for the Dogs was Jenkins. He your Kiwi cousin, Marty?
Could well be, yes.
Handball off now to Gill, pumps Strathfieldsaye up toward half forward. Shannon Gear with a player at a ground level. Couple of dogs dive upon him. One of them was Matt Cassidy. Footy's locked up, centre half forward for Strathfieldsaye. We'll have a ball up 10 through the first. It's the Dogs by 1.
Yeah, good conditions here. The rain is staying away, and it's a good contest on our hands. We're on half forward for the Storm as they tack, as they look for another one. It's just shoveled out to the wing. Good race of the footy for the Storm was planned forward. He's got his hands a little bit on the footy so far in this opening term of this this big clash here between the Storm and the Dogs as the Dogs bring it to half forward, but it's just a sea of Storm players picked up by Webb. Webb short pass, that's neat. He found a teammate. That was Blandford. Again, he goes to half that to McCarthy. McCarthy, not quite sure where to go. He'll probably spread it to the wing, in which he does.
He's looking for Clossy out there. The mark was dropped but paid to Harvey. Former Storm junior, spent a couple of years with Grovedale down in the Geelong Footy League. Spreads it wide now for Clossy. Finished last year so strong. Handball over the top to Slater, who likewise had a terrific final series. Kicks up toward half forward. It was cut off by Spear, who banged it back the other way. And it goes out of play in front of the scoreboard that reads 2-1-13 Gisborne. Strathfieldsaye 2 straight. 11 minutes played. First term Footy Fresh is Bendigo Footy Live, round 1 of the BFNL season from Gardner Reserve in Gisborne.
Young boundary umpire, he'll throw the footy back in. Good job, he did. Double-handed tap for the Storm. It's like Simpson got his hands on the footy there. As they've got a contest at ground level. A lot of players around the footy. Just shoveled out. Dogs look to bring forward through Brand Cazziano. Couldn't get his hands on the ball, he lost it. Good strong tackling, Merrins as well. Storm through McCarty. Now they're out. Gives a handball to Gill. Gill will go to half forward. He's got a player out. And now the Storm on the hand of receiving a handball with Shishka. That's a good short pass. Spouts up a player and takes a mark deep in the forward pocket. And they'll line them up again. And the man with the footy is wearing 00. That is Jack Exel.
Do not see that every day, do you? 00.
No, we talked about it before, Joel. I've seen an 05, but not a 00.
His meter's out deep in the pocket, pretty tight angle. He's a left footer. He spreads it wide. Didn't even look like it in the end. And it's a minor, a blemish. Their first of the afternoon for the Storm. They even it up 2-1-13 apiece. 12 minutes gone opening term.
Now, I had a chance to watch Strath train on Thursday night, and the way they're playing, getting back in defence and running forward is the way they trained, and that's been the difference so far. They're clogging up Gisborne's forward line, but theirs is open.
Liam Spear, under-18 premiership skipper of a couple of years ago, kicks into the back pocket. Good mark from Frank Catazzano. Lays it off, long kick down the line, just through the hands of Zach Dennehy. Hallinan's out the back for the Storm, flicks the handball over the top inside the boundary line. Taken by Webb of Strathfieldsaye. He loops his handball forward. There's a little bit on behind the play as well. Braden Blake and Hallinan having words. Eventually Webb's wrapped up in the tackle in between the coaches' boxes. And we'll have a ball up. John Norton to take control of proceedings again. The blood brawl as Braden Blake's going to come off the ground and have to be attended to.
Yes, he shook his head and he was disappointed he'd have to go, but it's just above his cheek. Looks like a nasty little cut. He'll have to get that attended to. So they'll go up in the ruck. Storm through Simpson. He tapped it. Nice little kick. Storm will go forward now. Got the numbers. Handball over the top looking for Moorhead. It was intercepted by the Dogs. They'll look to bring it forward. It's an awkward looking kick. He will be the target. Also down there is Power. In fact, it's Luxmore. Now the Storm. Moorhead. He'll pick it up. He's in his defensive 50. Offering support there was Hall. Couldn't grab it. Good strong tackling umpire Norton. In fact, said it will be a free kick and it's one too high.
So Brady Hall chips short. Comes Riley Wilson. Something back for Strathfieldsaye. Shifts off his line. Goes straight up the pipe. Low ball to half forward. Taken on the bounce by Gill. He was good enough to get his kick away, but it's across the centre square and it's chopped off.
Jed Dennehy.
Fancy, that's young Jed Dennehy who kicks up toward brother Zach. Ball floats over his head. A little bit of assistance for the breeze out toward that boundary line. Fight for it to Dennehy and Mays. Neither can keep it in and it'll be thrown back into play again. 2-1-13 apiece, 14 and a half gone opening term. John Peterson, John Hunter And Norm Jenkins with you on Footy Fresh.
Dogs attack across half forward, pack forms, hands and knees. The umpire's going to have to blow his whistle, and umpire does do that and decides to ball it up. Tied up here, Gardner reserve. 50 metres out from the Dogs' goal. Good strong tackling. Quick whistle there. In fact, it's 1 for 2 high. The Dogs will get a free kick here.
Yeah, the first tackle was over his shoulder before it slipped down.
Cazziano, who's had a little bit of, he dishes off a handball, a hurry kick inside forward 50. Danger, danger, here it is. Clossy, in fact, Chapano, he goes a little give, couldn't quite get it, and it'll be a ball up. And we'll have it 5 metres directly in front. 2-1-13 apiece. Gisborne's the Storm, 15.5 minutes gone, 80 turns.
Dennehy up in ruck again. Testing it with Simpson. Land for the ground level for the Storm. Handball down to Lakey. Knocked away by Hallinan and then socked it off the ground out of the immediate area by Moorhead. Out in front of space for Alex Powell, who runs onto it, the big fella. Arches the back, gets to 50, lays it into the pocket, looking for Exel. Oh, he got upstairs, but he couldn't pull in the mark. Spilt to Shishka. He hooks it around the body toward the goal square. A tough one to take back there, but Spears good enough to work it out. Kick into the back pocket, made it dangerous. Taken by Powell, run down in the tackle by Cassidy. Got caught holding the ball. Great desperate stuff from the Dogs in defence. And Matt Cassidy will take it in the last line for Gisborne.
Well, good strong work, wasn't it? Now it's a long high kick to the wing. Blake, geez, he's on quick. They didn't take long to take him up. Ball spills towards the boundary line. We need to see it out here, the Storm, because you just sense the Dogs are attacking, and they in fact do that. On the end of a handball, it was a nice kick half forward. Tried to find Luxmore, he trapped it. Blake offering support, picked it up, hurry kick. He'll be looking for Zach Dennehy, he's done well. Handballs it to teammate, good strong work by the Storm though. The intensity is up in this game. Good work umpires, ball comes to the back to Blandford, who's been good. He'll spread it wide to the Storm, they are away.
Steps inside, his opponent there is Chapano, kicks up the line, floats over the head of Shishka. Sharp couldn't take the ground ball. I know it's difficult to take when Lockie Sharp can't collect it. Braden Blake picked the handball up, Moorhead was lurking. Eventually Sharp lays the tackle, the Storm skipper. Have a ball up between the wing and right half forward. 2-1-13 apiece through 17 minutes of the grand final replay. Moorhead burrows in after it again. Handball out toward the boundary line. Grant Catazzano, the opposite number 10, was able to cut it off, but only momentarily before it's slapped out of play, and a ball in centre wing on the Kilmore Road wing.
Tight contest, 2-1-13 apiece. Let's hope it's like this for the rest of this grand final rematch. It'll be Blake. He'll be up against Simpson. Ground level, Dogs. They'll take possession. Hurry kick with smothered. McCarty's there for the Storm. He's had a fair bit of it, but the weight of numbers for the Dogs through Flynn Lake, he gets tackled, all tied up, ball up. In fact, another free kick.
No, good tackle. Had his arm held so he couldn't get rid of the ball by hand or foot.
It's Daniel Clossy got a free kick. Storm, short pass down the line. Spots up a teammate. Stevens. Stevens of the Storm. On the wing. Scoreboard wing. Short pass to Sharp. Hits him right on the chest. He'll turn and wheel and go. He's put it to the advantage of a teammate. Good work. Exel takes a nice strong mark. And that was a little bit of textbook footy there into the forward line, Norm.
It was excellent by Lockie Sharp. First time he's been on the lead today. Made the most of it. He wheeled immediately. Didn't give the defence time to set.
Everyone at the ground here knew that Sharp was going to wheel on his left, and he did. And Exel was the man in front. So he'll line them up. The left footer. Long high kick, geez, it holds up in the breeze. In fact, it swung right and a long way in the end. It was a minor score. So the Storm take the lead, 2-2-14. They lead Gisborne 2-1-13. 19 minutes gone, opening 10.
First lead of the day for the Storm. Led to this stage. Brought back in by Normington for the Dogs. Long out toward half back. Strathfieldsaye with numbers around this football though. Wilson lays it off. Kick inside forward 50 from Gill. He's looking for Brereton, who got pretty severely dealt with over the boundary line. He'll be tossed back in. Normington was one who missed that grand final through injury last year. He for the Dogs. Mitch Hallinan was the unlucky player for Strathfieldsaye who ended up sitting out. And roll a throw in here inside the forward 50 for the Storm in the left forward pocket. Whistle on play. It's going to be a free kick to Braden Blake. Out of the ruck contest, who whacks it across the centre of the ground. Bouncing ball out in front of Ellings, who kicked a couple on grand final day last year. Took a bounce from the slippery turf. Able to regain his composure, kicks in, board, juggling mark taken. Well done by Sam Graham. They had to track it back in flight, pulled it in as he was falling to the turf right in the centre of the ground.
Yeah, he was spread it wider. They're not going the corridor. We've got the weight of numbers here. Ellings again, he'll go goalward, and that swings. The breeze is having a big effect here now. It goes through for a minor score, so we're all even up. In fact, we are 2-2, 14 apiece. He's still 21-minute gone, open time.
On into the back pocket for Shannon Geary. Now the McCarty. As you said earlier, Johnny, it's been good in the early stages for the Storm. Had plenty of it. Lucky Gill. Blandford cruising past. Chips on the diagonal, inboard, almost taken away. McCarty did well though. Handball's off to Moorhead coming past, bangs it inside the forward 50, and the Gisborne skipper will get that there and take the mark. Jack Reaper reading the play so well as he often does, the interleague defender. Dogs kick up the line, long over the head of Blake. Nice pick up from Blandford. That was a sharp bit of work. Kick into the middle, knocked down by Graham of the Dogs. Picked up by McCarty, handball to Moorhead. Went back looking for McCarty by hand. Now Webber gets a kick away for the Dogs up toward half forward. Sets Hallinan a task in a 1v2. Dogs with numbers around the football. Player down in the middle of the ground, off the ball. Short kick from Denny, inside the 50. Around the body now, a chance for Fox, who spies an open goal square. He tucks his kick to the right-hand side. A minor score. 2-3 the Dogs back in front. 2-2 the Storm. 21.5 gone. Opening turn.
Yeah, young Fox has had a bit of it. That's the coach's son. Done pretty well in his first quarter.
Going forward. Steps out of the square. Kicks it in. Deep into the back pocket. Spots up Luke Webb. He'll go short again. Back to whence it came. Blandford again. Look possess the footy here, as there's no one on the mark, and Blandford will run his measure. Then he puts it to the wing. He didn't really spot up a play. He kicks it to a 2-on-2 contest. Strong tackling by Powell. Umpire let it go. Spills to Riley Wilson. Riley Wilson to the Storm. He goes to half forward. Punch over the top. In fact, a hold will go the way of the Dogs. Probably pretty tough on Reaper. For Reaper, he's got it. It was tough on Brereton, and now Reaper will come off half-back.
Burke's come off the ground, Johnny, and now Sam Graham making his way off the ground as well. Both a little bit sore for the Dogs. Reaper's long kick to half forward, taken by Merritt on the bounce, just got his handball away to play. Pokes into the pocket. That's a big tackle and straight in the back of Blandford. A little bit clumsy there from James Fox. Paddy Blandford will take it from inside defensive 50 for the Storm. I've seen plenty of the ball in this zone. Trailing by a point, 23 minutes into the first term. Webb, the new recruit. Chips short, finds McCarty. He comes short to Moorhead. They chip it around and possess the ball inside the D50 Stratfords.
Yeah, it's definitely the strategy of maintaining possession and chip and trying to find a way through, but with this wind and difficult conditions, it's not really working, as it ends up with Reaper, who took a strong contested mark. It was intended for Brereton, but just swung late at that last moment. Now Reaper, he goes long, spills to the back of the pack, tumbles over the boundary line 10 metres out from the goal. The Dogs attack, and we'll have another ball in. 1 behind is the lead. Gisborne 2-3-15. Storm 2-2-14. We're in the shadows of quarter time here in the opening game of season 2023. Up they go in the ruck. Simpson got his hands on the ball. Dogs tried to grab it. Webber did well, couldn't quite get it. And it goes over the boundary line again. And the boundary umpire will do it all again. 30 metres around the Dogs attacking goal.
A couple of early scores filtering through. Golden Square shot out to an early lead against Kyneton at Main Street, 5-2 to the Tigers yet to score. Rouge narrowly ahead of Sandhurst as well by a couple of points early stages. A free kick coming here inside the forward 50 for the Dogs out of the contest to Ben Eales. 100% sure what that was for, Norm. Did you see that one?
Yeah, Ben was held in the ruck contest. He was pulled back so he couldn't go for the tap.
So Ben Eales lined them up from 40 metres out. It was an awkward kick all the way. Out of bounds on 40. It's 100. Strathfieldsaye on the last line from Blandford for the Storm. Eagle Hawk with the first goal of the game at Harry Trott. So the first goal at Harry Trott as a regular BFNL venue. 1-1 to South Bendigo yet to score, and Maryborough and Castlemaine low scoring affair early doors there. 2 behinds the Magpies of Castlemaine and 1 for Maryborough.
Useless information. I took the goal once at Kennington goal. For Castlemaine against Kennington in the days that big Phil Carmen played.
For the Saints.
For the Saints. As the ball here has gone up to the wing. Off hands.
They weren't the Courage Cockerels back then, were they?
No, not quite. As the ball thrown in, Blake doing the ruck work for the Dogs. Paper players around this footy. They all dive in over the top of it. And they will
South,
the ball up.
the South President Rick Townsend, is he featuring in some of those teams?
Oh yeah, he was a good footballer in his day, I reckon, Rick Townsend, and a good cricketer as well. As the Storm, hurried kick into the middle here, Gardner reserve, it's a foot race for the footy, a hurried kick off the ground, puts the Storm forward, but Reaper is the man that's on the end of it. He picked up a bouncing, pretty easy ball in the end, handball to Shapano. He'll come now down the line to half forward, intended target was Merritt, but couldn't get it. It's all the Storm, a good strong mark was taken by Stevens.
Judged it well, chips in field to McCarty, who's had an absolute bag full of it in this opening term. Stevens provides some overlap run, long kick to half forward, Reaper brings it down, 3 Dogs at ground level. Sharp good enough to force a 50-50 for the Storm, they drag it back in, Sharp still fights for the football. And we will have a ball up at 70 metres out from the Strathfieldsaye goal. Point the difference, 26.5 gone opening term. Have another go. Blake decisively down in ruck. Shapano taken down by Wilson, who's been industrious early as ever. Picked up by McCarty, sends it inside the forward 50. Shishka out after the bouncing ball. 55 from home, sold a little bit of candy, then dropped the Hill Cole, socketed it off the ground toward Jenkins, picked up by Slater, he slams it toward goal. And it's going to be a free kick going against Brereton there, who gave it away to Reaper on the last line. Reaper chips it short to Spear, and the Dogs can build something out of half-back.
Having a bit of a game here, Reaper, isn't he, as Graham received a mark. They're running here, Dogs. They kick down the line again. Their game plan is a little bit different to the Storm. Now it's they're out here. Dogs, it is Lux here, goes long. It's Ryan Burke who ran onto it. A beautiful finish, and he pops it through for another goal for the Storm, for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs here, they take the lead. It is 3-3-21. No, in fact it's 3-2-20. Is that what you got there, Joel? Yep, to 2-3-15. Pretty fresh is Bendigo football live.
It's an excellent passage of play by Gisborne. Started down the back with Reaper. It then came up to the wing where Luxmore got hold of it. His short pass to Zach Dennehy didn't quite hit the target, but Dennehy got it to ground, and from there Ryan Burke did what he does best. He's a very elusive and he knows where the goals are.
Goal apiece now at Harry Trott Oval. Eagle Hawk by 1 point. Kangaroo Flat with the first goal at QEO against Sandhurst. Gisborne with the clearance here. The Gardner reserve. Burke was clever. Got it to Fox. To full forward. A crunching blow. Ratcliffe inside the defensive 50. In fact, it was Mays who got taken down by Dennehy. Ball spilled to the pocket. Eels got a boot to it and put it through for a minor score. That was good physical stuff from both of them. And Joseph Mays rode the bump. Eventually it gets through for a behind. Gisborne's lead out to 8.
Good footy, wasn't it? Planned for it. He goes short, doing the kicking in duties to Slater. Backs to Slater now. The Sirens hand here at quarter time. It's Gisborne 3-4-22. They lead the Storm 2-2-14.
So entertaining first term. It was a goal fest early on. We had 4 goals within the first 8 minutes of the contest. And then both sides just started to settle into things. The Storm playing more possession football. And Gisborne looking to really ramp things up when they got the ball in their hand. But at quarter time here at Gardner Reserve, it's the Dogs by 8 points. 3-4-22 to Strathfieldsaye, 2-2-14. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Hey Kaz, yes, I have been messaging Kaz
Nice
for some reason.
I'll be
Facebook
right
wasn't
for
working,
the start.
and he tried the same
That
thing.
quarter minus
He's
nine.
just as confused.
Yeah. You didn't sort the scores all day.
I am
On the play
Yes.
HQ. Yeah, and I'm not using the Footy League's website on the bottom.
So what's it called?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, it
They're
is,
not updating them anyway when I do get one. Bendigo's not.
Yeah.
No websites now.
It's failing to connect with Facebook. I don't understand why. Caleb doesn't understand why. So, like, I think it's a Facebook thing, but I don't know. Like, I've got everything on it just isn't connecting.
I reckon the easiest way to get your rhythm back is just to slow down. Just try and call less
Same
and just like see what you do. I always find the more you try and do,
it's like anything,
the harder
Joel.
it gets.
It's like anything. The more you try to impress, the worse you go.
Caleb's just as confused. Like, I'm gonna try.
Especially when you're trying to play catch up in
Yeah,
terms of players and stuff. That rain's actually
there is a few drops.
Just,
Well, if you need to cover that, we've got a tarp here.
All right.
yeah.
Blew the cobwebs out this
Like,
time.
I want to take responsibility for something I'm doing wrong.
I expect nothing less than the defensive pressure that both sides put on.
It shouldn't matter. But I don't think my first offensive plan has been effective. I don't think it has access to it.
Yeah, I've got your Wallace.
So I just don't know what that's like.
Arno was busy, like the work of James Fox, who we spoke about a number of times, and Liam Spear down back was really solid, along with Jack Reaper to hold up some of those advances. The surge you like for the Storm, Norm?
I think Callum McCarty is best on ground so far. As you said during the commentary, he got a packet of it. Did very well. Luke Webb, new to the club, doing very well down back. Mitchell Hallinan, liked the way he went about it. And Jake Moorhead early, plenty of the ball. So with Jack Exel up forward, beside Lockie Sharp, they've got a good mix.
Gisborne by 8 as we go into the second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Footy Live with John Hunter.
It'll be the Dogs. They'll go forward again through Allings. He's been busy in this game. He spread it wide to the wing. Picked up by Wilson of the Storm, whistle on play. And it's going to be for incorrect disposal. It will go the way of the Dogs. And Cazziano, he kicks it long, half forward along the boundary line, hard up against the line. I'll look to put it out here, the Storm. And it's going to be a ball up, in fact, as it's another stoppage. 22 playing 14, Gisborne lead. We've gone half a minute in the second term.
A little on air production here. Can I have my binoculars back? Thanks for that. Ball down the ground level, kick around the body there from Stevens for the Storm. Here's the contest. They move it forward. Here's Exel rising inside forward 50. Big fist from Liam Spear. Lead the danger only for a moment though. Exel's back on the football, up at half forward now. Blake's there. Exel drags it off him. Blake dropped it in the tackle. Now a chance for Bills. He's been under pressure at half-back. Lakey. Handball back inside the defensive 50 to Cassidy. Left foot kick from Graham for the Dogs was awkward. Almost marked by Merritt. Off his hands. Pushed over the boundary line was Hallinan. And we'll have a toss back in front of the hobbled Darryl Wilson on the Storm coaching bench. He had a knee reco a couple of weeks ago, but he is here. He's on the crutches as he watches his team on this afternoon. He'll be tossed up. It is Gisborne by 8. No change to the quarter-time score.
Blake with his hands on the footy. Hurried kick by the Dogs, trying to work it forward, and they do through Graham. Graham goes to have 50 out. He spots up a teammate through Merritt. Merritt now, short pass. He honours it, and it will be Danahy again. I reckon to line up for another goal. In fact, this is young Jed, so brother of. He's got a fair leg on him, Norm, and he'll need it from there.
Yes, and he's got to judge the wind here. He's got to start it out to his left and let the wind drift it into the goal square.
Jed Danahy looking to hit the scoreboard along with his brother for the Dogs. Slow approach. It's a long, high ball, probably too high in the end. It gave the wind plenty of chance to grab it, which it did. Comes off hands for a minor score. Dogs can now go to 3-5-23. They lead the Storm 2-2-14, 2.5 gone second term.
It's going to be interesting this quarter to see how Gisborne try to handle Strath's run into the forward line. Strath did it well in the first quarter, clogging it up.
Again, they possess the ball in the back half for the Storm. Now the outlet kick toward half forward. Brereton pushed Reaper off it. Handball over the top looking for Slater. Run out of room up along the boundary line on the Kilmore Road wing. In front of the netball court, so we toss back into play. Investment gone into the netball facilities here in recent years at Gardner Reserve. Blake slams it down in ruck. McCarty with his head over it. Very busy in the opening stages and no change there. Again, we'll have a ball up in front of that scoreboard. He's been by 9, 3.5 gone second term.
Interesting score, Wade Street, Golden Square 6-6-42, Crichton one behind at quarter time. So good start by the Dogs. As the ball is across half forward now for the Dogs down here at our broadcast game. As Moorhead for the Storm steps over the boundary line. We'll have a ball in. Right half forward. Dogs attack. Looking to increase the lead. Good handy lead in these conditions. 23 playing 14. And what's a game that's tightening up as the ball spills again towards the wing. Go out of bounds. In fact, it crawls along the boundary line. Storm have somehow got it forward. Reaper is on the end of the Dogs. Handball over the top. Gives it to a teammate in Viscovi. He's tackled. Storm did well. Free kick. And I think the Storm are going to get a shot at goal through Sharp. Now a smart goal kicker. He's within distance. The wrong side for a left footer. Tied up against the boundary line. Let's see what he does with this one, Norm.
Yeah, well, it was a good tackle, so he's got to look for reward for his efforts here. Started out towards the left goal post.
which he didn't, Norm. He started it right and didn't matter. Goes straight through the middle and actually didn't move. So what do we know? We're not goal kickers for his second at the Storm. They go to 3-2-20. They trail the Dogs 3-5-23. 5 minutes gone, second term.
Yeah, one disappointed player in that passage of play would have been Braden Blake. He did the ruck work, he followed up, he made 2 tackles, but he kept bringing the ball into the Storm forward line, and when we got it there from a throw-in, excellent tackle from Lockie Sharp, and he made no mistake.
Kicked plenty of them over the years, Lockie Sharp. Goal number 814 in Strathfieldsaye Storm colours. He's been prolific for such a long time and just continues to get the job done. At the restart, Eels in ruck for Gisborne. Webber's there, the youngster flicks the handball over the top. Get it back here too off Shapano. Try and chain it up toward half forward, all by hand. Shapano quickly inside the forward 50. It's cut off pretty easily in the end by Joseph Mays, Bridgewater Premiership player a few years ago. Chips it short to Stevens. He wants to move it on over the top. Does so to Mulquiddy. Now they've opened things up. Strathfieldsaye floats his kick to half forward. Sharp's out. Had the arms chopped. No free kick. Slater there to provide support. Sharp goes to ground level. Got his kick away inside the forward 50. Slater cleared the path. Fired on goal. And made no mistake. Baxter Slater with a lovely bit of play. And the Storm have got 2 in a row. And they're out to a 3-point lead all of a sudden. 4-2-26 Strathfieldsaye. Gisborne 3-5-23. 6 gone, second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Once again, a quick kick out of the pack, and Lockie Sharp couldn't take the mark. Had the ball knocked away, but he followed it up, got it out, and got it out to young Slater, who sidestepped two opponents and made no mistake.
Well, Eels doing the ruck work for the Dogs. He's giving away a lot of centimetres as the Storm again. They'll come forward, hurry kick out of the pack. It'll go down the line. Oh, good strong mark. There's the Dogs. It was Spear. Spear's good. Spreads it further wide. Off hands. Underneath the scoreboard. Will come over the boundary line. We'll have a ball in.
The difference I've noticed in this quarter to the first quarter is that Gisborne aren't getting back in defence and clogging it up like Strath were able to do to Gisborne.
Storm attack across half forward. Left half forward. They've taken the lead. 26-23. He picked up by the Dogs. In fact, it goes over the boundary line. That was a little bit of a point. We'll have another ball in. Across half forward, Storm attack. 23 playing 26. Storm lead. 7.5 gone second term.
Yes, that was great work by Strath there. They had 3 players coming at the kicker and they were able to smother it off the boot.
So Norm Jenkins with you. Bendigo Footy Live. Peterson and John Hunter calling it fully. Great to have you with us. Round 1 of Bendigo Footy. When he picks it up at the stoppage, Harvey spirals a high kick inside the forward 50. Excellent 2 hands to it. Sharp arriving. Quick handle away to Stevens. Threw it on the boot. Only went 5 metres. Taken by Gill. Shoots it forward. Cow's all alone. In fact, it's Brereton, who was unmarked 20 metres from home and just had it fall into his lap.
Yes, lucky for Strath then. Gill got bumped as he got his kick away. It went off the side of the boot, but Brereton, standing all on his own, took an easy chest mark.
So Jude Brereton on debut for the Storm this afternoon, the Echuca product. Done a bit of ruck work early, this for 3 in a row for Strathfieldsaye. Shouldn't make the mistake. He tried to kick the suitcase out of it, Norm. He put it out onto Hamilton Street, but he dragged it to the left. Only for a minor score. That's a bad miss. 4-point lead for the Storm through 9 minutes of the second.
Yes, at the last minute there, he turned his body as he kicked that ball. Instead of kicking through it, he sort of kicked it around the corner, and the ball went where he faced.
Commentators cursing, goal. Your fault.
Can't tell me that you shouldn't have missed that.
Liam Spear for the Dogs. Plays on. Oh, it's a specky! What a grab that was! And now he's off and away. It looks like Webber there. Joel, wasn't that a screamer in these conditions? Now they're at half forward. A good tumbling mark, and all of a sudden the intensity is up. It's a long kick forward. Luxmore, it's 30 metres out now. Contested ball, ground level, trying to weave a path, and he does. It's Webber. He goes around the body and bangs it through. Wowee! Jeez, the rest of season 2023 is like that. Bring it on. We've seen it all. So they will take the lead here, the Dogs. They get a 4-5-29. They lead 4-3-27.
Yeah, what great work by Webber then. Excellent mark at centre half back. The ball went forward to Luxmore. It was kicked on from there, and who was at the fall of the ball? It was Webber again, who ran onto his left and kicked a nice goal. Great follow-up work. Excellent example for everybody to follow.
Very talented player, this young Matt Webber. They'll be hoping that they see more of him in Gisborne colours this year in between his Paul Cannon's commitment out of the middle. Eels takes away for the Dogs, jams the kick on the boot inside the forward 50. Merritt's lurking for this football. Gill did well, settles with it in hand for the Storm. Handball to Clossy, who ran himself defensively back toward goal. And then kicks across the back 50. It was a nice ball to find Hall. Hall to Noel Quiddy, who played on in the centre of the ground. Either had to be play on or a free kick because he had it knocked out of his hands. Shoots the kick short to Hallinan. 1-2 with Gill. Hallinan to centre half forward for Sharp, who marks 52 from home. What's he got inside 50 here? Or will he load up and take this one on North?
I think he'll weigh up his options for starters and then he'll have a shot.
That's exactly what he's done. He'll have to kick it from inside the centre square, will Lockie Sharp. It's an absolute cannon! Sharp's got 3, and he tries to fire his side up with the fist pump as he puts them back in front. 5-3-33 the Storm. Gisborne 4-5-29, 11 and a half minutes played, second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, great thinking from Lockie Sharp then, and great work. He used the new stand advantage to his advantage. He got up to the bloke, almost to the bloke on the mark, veered to his left and brought the ball back with a lovely left foot shot.
Jeez, we've got some marking skills and kicking skills on display here down at Gardner Reserve for the opening game of season 2023. Stevens tries to make it hard. Here come the Storm again. It's a long ball. Exel is the target. Just ran underneath the football. Spear did well for the Dogs. Sharp picks it up. Handball inboard to Exel. Exel's put that out of bounds deliberately, surely.
The umpires deemed that was knocked out in the tackle.
Well, anyway, doesn't matter. 50 metres out. Good attacking work, Storm. They've upped the ante here. And as I said earlier, the dynamic of Exel down forward is just Sharp must be absolutely loving it. It will be the Dogs now. Lord, handball over the top. That was ineffective. Geary getting involved. Ground level, Moorhead, good tackling. They're going to be all tied up. Merrin's in the pack there for the Dogs. And I thought the Storm player in Slater might have been out and wasn't. 40 metres out from the Storm's goal, will ball it up 4 behind, 4 points to the lead.
Powell goes behind himself in ruck, slaps it down. Lakey and Stevens draped all over him, 2 number 7s for their respective teams. Powell has another player that's still at half forward for the Storm, crashing through his Moorhead, dragged out down in the tackle by Lakey and by Brancatizano, who's traded in the long sleeves since quarter time. Is Adam Brancatizano. Have a ball up. Blake and Powell. Blake might have had better of it. Jenkins has kicked that right off the instep. It went maybe 3 metres and out of bounds on the full-back kick. So that was some early season rust. And Jake Moorhead will take it for the Strathfieldsaye Storm. Chips short to Powell. Returning to the club this season. He's 60 metres from home. He gives it a ride. He gives it a really good ride. It was always to the right. He really looked like he was having a deliberate shot at goal there. And it's through for a minor score in the end. It takes the Storm's lead to 5 points. 5-4, plays 4-5. 13 and a half minutes gone in the second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Bills will play on from fullback, kick it out for the Dogs, send it long beyond 50. Reaper is there, but a whistle on play. Exel gets a free kick because he was upended. So the Storm looking to bring it forward. Looks like Eagle Hawk have settled out at Harry Trott. They take the lead 19-14. As the ball comes into the forward pocket, Shiska is the target. Hands on the footy, juggling mark. Takes it. Distance won't be a problem, but accuracy might because he's on a pretty tight angle. He's only 15 metres out norm.
Yes, it was a nice mark by Shiska there. He was able to nudge his opponent forward out of the contest and take a good 2-grab mark.
He's going to step around the body as they do nowadays and just opened up the angle.
The umpire hadn't called time off.
Well, it was a goal. It wasn't a goal, Norm.
No.
At least he knows what to do now.
He's got to do it again. He's got to repeat.
Does that put more pressure on you to do it again or less? We're going to find out, I think, Joel.
Depends on the person, John.
Shishka does it again. 1 step, 2 step.
Put pressure on him.
Behind. Didn't even look like it in the end.
No, put more pressure on him second time there.
Obviously did. 5-5-35 Storm. 4-5-29 the Dogs. 15 minutes gone. Second turn.
Storm have got themselves in the situation they're in because they've been able to take control at the centre bounce.
He took it a little bit easier the second time too there, no?
He did, yes.
Casually the approach, having already executed the skill. Gisborne out of half back, Lakey got it to Weber, kick up toward half forward. Standing in the right of that was Mays, who's taken a couple of big hits today. Wilson goes on hands and knees, he fires it out. Weber's taken in a tackle. And it'll be balled up between the wing and half forward here at Gardner Reserve. John Peterson, John Hunter, Norm Jenkins with you. Indigo Football Live. On footy fresh. Shapano in the famous number 16 down here at the Garden Reserve spins through the traffic. Blake flicks it out, but only as far as Harvey for the Storm, who intercepts. Blindly whacks it forward. Reaper can intercept for the Dogs. Shoots it short to Bills, one of a handful of under-18 premiership players out there from last year for this Gisborne team, having defeated Sandhurst in that famous grand final. Kick up toward half forward. Well done from Stevens. Smothered the kick at Shapano. Around the body now. High ball to half forward for Strathfieldsaye. It's taken by Bills, who sold a little bit of candy, got around Mulquiddy, and then passed it short to Ellings, who comes and switches across the offensive 50. Liam Spears good enough to track that one down and chips it outside the back arc to Cassidy.
Cassidy, he'll go further afield. Oh, mark should have been taken by Lord. Just went through his hands, maybe a little bit casual, but he's good enough to back it up. He ran onto a bouncing footy and then kicked it and kicks it out of bounds on the full. So a few little errors there.
No, I think it'll be a throw in, John.
Well, close to the boundary
The
line.
goal umpire signalled bounce.
I think the boundary umpire might have signalled out of bounds on the full, but good work if they did down there. Team work by the umpires. The Dogs attack. Ball is thrown in. Eels will do the ruck work. Puts it to the front of the pack, but it's all with the Storm. A long kick now to the wing. Bouncing footy.
Downfield free kick. Downfield free kick.
Did you see? Was it another up end or was it not?
It was. He was thrown to ground after the ball had gone.
Looking sharp for the Storm. He's on the wing. Scoreboard side. Left footer. Short pass. Spots up Wilson, Riley Wilson. Now he's playing quickly, gets some Moorhead. Moorhead now long and high. He's intended to take his Malquini, but it's all defensive work by Cassidy of the Dogs, and he'll send it to the other side wing. So they've swapped it over, and Luxmore has the full.
The goal kicker from the under-18s last year, kicked 70 in the season, did young Harry Luxmore. He's back to his under-18 premiership teammate in Bills. Goes back to the Melbourne medalist on grand final day in Blake. Shares it with the Vic Country medalist in Reaper. So plenty of those involved on grand final day last year. Now to Vescovi for the Dogs. He kicks up toward half forward. Eels might have spent that before he had it. It bounced off his chest and rolls out of play. Up toward the junction of the 50 and the boundary at right half forward. Dogs sticking to the Jacksons Creek end, the northern end of the ground here in this second term. Blood rule as well for the Storm with a player coming off. 5-5 Strathfieldsaye, 4-5 Gisborne, 18 and a half minutes played in the second quarter. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Might be McCarthy there with blood nose, I think. Just caught one across the beak. This whistle's going on everywhere.
Yes, McCarty's been in everything in this first half, and for mine, he's been the best player on the ground so far
So the
in what's
umpires
been a quality contest.
just waiting for the play to reset. As the Dogs attack, it'll be Blake. He was found out of position by Simpson. He did well. Was half back. Storm just can't take position. Graham did well for the Dogs. Might get a free kick. Incorrect disposal. He does. Directly in front. 50 metres out from goal. Graham puts it wide. Not sure if it was the right choice, in fact, to Blake. Blake let it bounce in front of him, and it tumbled away and went over the boundary line 20 metres out. And we'll have another ball in. 35, playing 29, Storm lead, almost 20 minutes gone, second term.
Yes, it's been an interesting second quarter. Gisborne haven't had it in their forward line till now, and they've got a big opportunity.
Just kicked to 1 goal in this term to Storm's 3. Strathfieldsaye the only side to have got back-to-back goals so far. Clearing kick for the Dogs up toward full forward, taken by Webb. To Stevens, dangerous kick. Rankatazana had a play at it. Burke dives on top of it. Inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Shannon Geary burrows his way through. Spills out the back to Harvey. Now to Stevens. Handball off to Wilson. Ran into trouble. Got caught by a number of Gisborne players. Taken by Vescovi. Maybe a throw there from Lord it was. He tried to see the volleyball set to move the ball on. Clearly not allowed with the Sherrin. Sharp will take it from half-back for the Storm.
Short pass. Spots up Clossy. Clossy is the Storm. On the wing, scoreboard side, broadcast side, we're seeing behind the goals, of course. Clossy, short pass is poor. Kicks it to the opposition, finds Lakey. Flynn Lakey.
Here's one of the more unique spots that we call from Johnny, almost behind the goals here, right in the forward pocket.
Normanton receives to the Dogs, you're right, Joel. But it's good vision, isn't it? Now the Dogs will go forward through Luxmore. He's had a bit of the footy as well. Deep inside, forward 50. They'll set themselves. It's Blake. Managed to keep his feet, did cleverly, and I don't know whether he spotted up Dennehy deliberately, but he certainly has, and pretty much directly in front. Only 20 metres out, Dennehy has got a chance to put another one on the board. This is Zach, who has already kicked 2 this afternoon. Zach Dennehy of the Dogs. He will kick this footy if he kicks through it, and does. Well, he's having a pretty good start to his career down here at the Dogs. Zach Dennehy, the lead now. Well, we're all tied up, aren't we? It's 5-5-35. We squared up here at Gardner Reserve.
Yes, good work by Braden Blake there. He was in a marking contest. He had 2 opponents. He was able to get the ball to ground, recover, and get a kick forward. Whether it was meant or whether it was not, Dennehy was in front of his opponent and able to take an easy chest mark.
Do you think it was a deliberate kick or not?
No, I think he got pulled back as he kicked it, John, and that meant the ball went forward. Went short instead of further.
I think after a couple of cold ones in the club room
they'll
tonight,
say
it'll be very
yes.
deliberate. It'll become a 55-metre bullet pass onto his chest at about 9 o'clock this evening if they get up the Dogs, I would imagine. Out of the middle, Shapano tries to move things forward for Gisborne. Oh, crashing in there was Burke. He got dealt with. Almost spilt out toward Merritt. Lakey has a play at the football for the Dogs, still in the middle. High up and under, straight up and down the line shaft from Webber. Big pack forms around this footy. Webb with a closing fist. He got held without it.
Incorrect disposal. Incorrect disposal.
I'm not sure he ever had it to dispose of it, Norm. Burke kicks inside the forward 50 for the Dogs. Chance for Ellings at ground level. Has to turn back, and he also didn't get rid of it legally. And so he's caught holding the ball inside the defensive 50. It'll be Brady Hall back there who's going to take the free kick for the Storm. All tied up, 5-5 apiece, 23 minutes gone, second term.
Yeah, he's got that knee heavily bandaged there. Hall. Short pass to Blandford, racking up the possessions. Short pass to McCarthy, who was also doing the same. Moorhead receives a handball now, kicks it long.
Going to be downfield.
Another whistle for another indiscretion downfield. So it's a bit of a theme emerging here.
That one was probably split second. It was right as he kicked it, and it did affect the kick, but the umpire claimed it was after.
And Sharp seems to be on the end of all of them because the ball was going in that direction, obviously. Oh, he's put it out in the front of Powell. Powell got his hands on the footy. Good support at ground level, hurried shot at goal. Won't be a score. What's in the bottom of the pack? Ring on the body. And it is another mine. So, Storm they go to 36, Gisborne 35. 34 minutes gone, second team.
Spear measures the pass in from fullback. Finds Merritt. Rose to mark. Tried to bite one off there again along the boundary line, did Spear. Luxmore was good enough to take it. Handball around the body. Taken by Stevens. He got caught. And a free kick going away of Mac Lord. who's got it on centre wing for the Dogs, the Aitken Street side. Comes short to Graham, who surveys the field and then kicks up toward half forward and finds Luxmore. There's a high half forward left. Rolls onto his right boot, sends it inside the arc. Can they fly? Oh, up in front. A really good mark taken by Mays. He had Blake draped all over him, but that's a terrific defensive mark. And he can relieve the pressure from inside the back 50 for the Storm.
He'll go backwards in order to go forward. The Storm looking to build. They've done that all this afternoon. Blanthorpe to McCartney. There's a familiar ring to that sound as Moorhead offers support, runs hard and receives a short pass. They've swung it across half back here, the Storm. Now they look to go, in fact, further back. Again to Blanthorne. Look to build here. Through Webb. Webb short pass. Spots up Mays. Deliberate work across half back to try to find a space. We're seesawing across half back again. Looking for a place to go through Webb to Sharp, who's come up the field. Goes beyond Sharp towards the boundary line. Over it goes. And across half forward. Now the Storm attack will ball in 36 lane 35, 25 minutes gone, second term.
Curiosity, Canberra Flat leading Sandhurst 3-3 to 2-3. Pint have got a goal at Wade Street. They trail Golden Square by 53 points. Eagle Hawk lead South Bendigo by 18. Maryborough by 1 point over Castlemaine. Dogs working inside defensive 50 after the stoppage. Reaper tries to nurse the left foot kick around the body, measured it nicely. Found Brent Catazano, Riley Wilson closing on him, cuts the kick into the middle of the ground looking for Ellings, and it's taken away by Shishka for the Storm, inside the centre circle, sends it inside the 50, Exel upstairs, couldn't mark, does the roving, throws it on the boot, it's a wild kick across the face, it tumbles its way out of bounds on the full. He is going to be a handful this season. Is Jack Exel. Didn't convert there, but he's showing flashes.
He is. If nothing else, he just takes that focus away from Sharp. They are looking sharp as a result of it. Normington for the Dogs, plays on, sends it long, 50-metre ball to the wing. They set themselves front and centre, doing well. Ellings, he'll handball it forward. All the Dogs are away here now. A long kick inside forward 50, they'll set themselves. Dennehy was the target sack. He managed to pick that up with his left hand. A long handball. He's got a player out. It is Burke. Burke goes around the body and the goals were open and he just failed to hit the score. Well, he hit the scoreboard, but in a minor way. All tied up here, 5-6, 36 apiece, 27 go on, second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Experienced hands of Shane Geary to bring it back into play. John Lewis, John Hunter, Norm Jenkins with you at Gardner Reserve, round one of Bendigo footy. And we can't be split through 27 minutes of the second term. Kick away from Brent Catazano, great mark, tracking the ball back in flight from Zach Dennehy, who's 55 from home, squaring kick to fall forward. Clossy got two hands to it, got the arms chopped. Free kick advantage to the Storm. Bouncing ball out in front of Gill. Can he trap it? He knocks it onto his own advantage and then gets the kick away inside the 50. Spear playing in front. Exel operating out the back. Quick onto it in a flash. Picked it up, snaps and goals. Just through the hands of Liam Spear. And Jack Exel didn't need a second invitation in front of the big sticks. And he restores Strathfieldsaye's 1-goal lead. 6-6 plays 5-6, 28.5 played. Second term, footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yeah, good work by Darcy McQuinney then. He got the ball into the forward line quick and it's been an excellent battle between Spear and, excuse me, Exel. That time it was Exel the beneficiary of a loose ball and he made no mistake with a little banana.
Super recruit for this season for the Storm is Exel. He just looks so dangerous when it gets in his area. As we go back into the middle, Eels doing the ruck work and managed to shark his own ball for the Dogs. He puts it into the path of Merritt. Merritt picks up, gives it to a teammate and they're away. Chapano getting involved. Hurried shot at goal. It was a poor kick and it slews across the face of goal out of bounds and we'll have a ball in hard up against the point post for the Dogs. 36 lane 42, the Dogs trail. 29 minutes gone, second term.
back into play. What a tree is that down there, Norm, that the ball's being thrown in under? Any idea? The green one.
May well be an elm tree.
Woody tree, in any case.
Very.
You don't know unless you've got apples on them, I wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
well, that's true.
Yeah, hardly arborists up here in the commentary box, that's for sure. Long kick up toward Gill. It's been good. Lockie Gill sends it inside the corridor to Brereton. Handball missed the mark. Harvey, a little bit too hot for him. Spinning in was Lord, and he's been caught holding the ball. Said he didn't get rid of it. Harvey's half forward was in the air before Riley Wilson marked it right on the 50. And John Norton waves that off. So we get to half time, and it is the Storm ahead by one straight kick. 6-6-42. Plays Gisborne 5-6-36. Entertaining opening half of footy in the grand final replay. 3 goals to Lockie Sharp and 3 to Zach Dennehy for the Gisborne Bulldogs in his new colours. Norm Jenkins, what are you made of the opening half of play?
Well, it's what you expect. It's high pressure from both sides. The pressure's been on. For me, Strath have done it a little bit better than Gisborne. They've been able to get back into the Gisborne forward line, clog it up, and then get the ball out in the open. I thought to start that quarter, Gisborne were going to be better situated, but it's a high-class game of football between two teams that you would think are going to figure prominently at the end of the year.
They've sort of played in different ways too, haven't they, Johnny? We've seen the Storm want to possess the ball a little bit more than Gisborne have. And, you know, if you took that possession count, I'd say, through the first half, the Storm probably had more of the football. But Gisborne, when they get it on the outside, they look really dangerous.
You mentioned it through the crawl, Joel, the perspective that we've got from being behind the goal. There's a definite difference in their game style. Storm are playing what I'd call that typical AFL style where they swing back, swing forward, swing back, when I say forward, across half back until they find a place to go. And once they go wide if they have to, which is a little bit critical sometimes because I found, I reckon, going to the forward pockets a little bit, they've gone too much. Where the game style of the Bulldogs, in my eyes, they are looking to play corridor all the time. That's just the difference I'm seeing in the game style.
They maybe executed some of those skills at stages today, Gisborne, in terms of they have been a little bit sloppy ball in hand at times, but both of these sides we know play an exciting brand of footy, and it's certainly been on show in the first half. Eaglehawks still ahead of South Bendigo by 18 points at Harry Trott Oval. Kangaroo Flat holding Sandhurst off in the early stages of that game, 2 of the Curio, 3-3 to 2-4. The square with the big lead over Clinton, 67 to 8. At Maryborough by 2 points, 1-4 lead, 1-2. Other games around the traps in round 1 of Bendigo footy, and I think looking through those, when you take this game into perspective as well, it'll be that Sandhurst Kangaroo Flat scoreline that will be surprising a few people around Bendigo footy.
Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me as great as what it would surprise a lot of other people, because they're quality, experienced footballers that Kangaroo Flat have brought in. It was a matter of how long it was going to take them to gel. It looks as though they've been able to gel pretty well first up, and they might be a little bit better this year than everybody's first thought. But the last score you gave us, 1-4 to 1-2 over at Princes Park, Maryborough, I'd say the rain hit there very early on today, and it's very wet, cold conditions over at Princes Park for only 2 goals to be scored in the first half.
Well, what I take from that one is that potentially the Kangaroo Flat younger players have stepped up to support those senior players.
That's right.
And the other thing I take from it is that you've written South Bendigo off for this season, they're gone.
No, I haven't written South off yet. I didn't mention their score just then.
No, we didn't.
They're only 3 goals down.
You didn't have to.
I said at the start of the day, yes, it was a defining game for them, and to their credit, they had the early lead. They've let Eaglehawk get ahead on them, and they've now got to fight back. We'll wait and see what happens at the end of the day.
So, 4.4 of a mil of rain in Maryborough. So not exceedingly wet, but according to the Bureau, there is, of course, rain flowing across from the northwest. We haven't had too much of it yet. It's drizzly showers including at the moment, but for the most part the weather's been holding off. He's breezy, but it hasn't affected things too greatly. And at half time, it is Strathfieldsaye by one straight kick. 6-6-42 to 5-6-36. Running through the goal kickers, best players from the first half, and take a look at everything that is to come here at Garden Reserve very, very shortly. Half time, Storm by a goal. Pretty fresh. It's Video 45.
Central Victoria Radio.
Just worried with bloody computer stuff.
half-time scores. Maryborough by 3 points over Castlemaine. South Bendigo have closed the gap to Eagle Hawk, emerging 3 points there as well at County Trot Oval. Kangaroo Bank 3-3 with Sandhurst 2-4 at Cleveland Oval. And Golden Square by 59 points over Kyneton.
And also half-time, Donald and Witchyproof, Joel. Donald 43-27.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't.
5-3. Get some more.
No, we're going back to the
Games in the North Central Footy League. Great to have North Central Footy Heat Football League action back today as well. Start of the second half here at Gardner Reserve. It is Strathfieldsaye who lead by 1 straight kick as we go into it. Graham takes it out of the middle for the Dogs as light drizzle continues to fall here in Gisborne. Webb's pushing off it. Immediately a throw in out of the midfield stoppage. So the wind coming from the north-northwest today and the rain coming straight into the balcony here at Gardner Reserve. Blake does the ruck there, got rid of Simpson, on it down, Merritt fights for the football inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Graham a player, but knocked away from him. Wilson a dangerous hand pass. Shinagiri had to ride the bump of Burke, knocked it down, picked up by Leahy. The best and fairest winner shoveled the handball out. John Norton said he did so illegally. It'll be a free kick to Riley Wilson on the last line of defence for the Storm.
Wilson now with the feet. Deep in his defensive zone. Short passes, poor. Spot up a Bulldogs player.
Jed Dennehy.
Jed Dennehy hit him. Couldn't have hit him all flush if he tried, Norm. I reckon Jed must have called for it.
That's what it looked like, didn't it? It looked a perfect pass straight onto his chest, and he's got an excellent chance of kicking the first goal in the second half.
He's going to have to kick at 50 with a little bit of rain falling. Well, he propped it up. He's looking for his brother. You hit the pat. That's Zach Dennehy. Now the Storm. They're still not out of trouble. Shannon Geary. Probably was it a little bit dangerous that he went in with his knees?
Took his legs out from under him.
Umpire said yes, and Luke Ellings will get a free kick on a pretty tight angle. And I think Shannon Geary
knows, yes.
He knew he should be there. So Ellings of the Dogs, you could kick from there. Twirls the ball within his hands. Then he just props it up and he just spreads it wide for a minor score. I'm not sure. I reckon Jed Dennehy should have a shot at goal, but that one's gone. Storm is 6-6-42, gives him a 5-7-37. 2 minutes have gone. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Webb chips in from fullback, finds Wilson at the overlap run. Webb bangs it straight down the pipe. Shiska takes the one-handed mark, lays it off in front of Exel, and the Storm will go coast to coast in a flash. Exel finishes in style. How quick was that? It is overcast and the Storm lightning in transition. 7-6-48 Strathfieldsaye, Gisborne 5-7-37. Game high 11-point lead for the Storm, 3 minutes through the third.
Yeah, it's interesting noting now that the Gisborne boys are all together in a huddle because they relaxed. They didn't expect there to be a handball from that short kick in, but there was a short kick into the big ruckman in Broughton, a handball onto Webb, and a long kick to Exel, and Exel made no mistake.
So one of our co-callers, Jock Clark, is at Neil Street. He informs me that the cars are parked 3 blocks from Neil Street with the size of the crowd. So that's good news for the Bloods, isn't it?
Yep, great to hear.
As Graham will receive a free kick for the Dogs. It's going to be reversed, I think. So the Storm through Shannon Geary, bit of lack of discipline, and 50. So reversed and 50. Is that a double whammy or is it all in one? Shannon Geary is probably close enough to score. He decides against it. He puts it wide. I'm not sure if it was a good choice, but Exel is. Exel goes round the body, short pass. And he's hit up Shiska. Shiska hit him right on the chest. And he's on a pretty tight angle, but he'll line them up, Norm. I reckon Shannon Geary probably should have had a shot at goal then.
Well, Shiska's in a worse position what Geary was. Geary had a more open goal face to kick at. But interesting to note too that when Shiska got that, he was going back towards the point post as though he was going to kick this way.
Yeah, well, it's probably a little too far out to try around the corner, which he did just in the last term we saw. He's going to straighten this time. He's going to kick through the footy with a drop punt. And, oh, geez, it was close, but not close enough. and it's a minor score to the Storm, who look pretty impressive in this opening part of this second half here down at Gardner Reserve. 7-7-49, they lead the Dogs 5-7-37.
Yes, even though Gisborne have got the first two centre breaks this quarter, they haven't been able to make anything of it. Strath have gone down the other end and scored 1-1.
12-point lead to the Storm. Long kick in and a good strong mark. Nice stuff from Luxmore. Hands off, long kick inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Floats over the head of Geary. Topo gone from Eels. Might have another play at this 20 metres out. Dives in, taken by Halloran. Ball spills toward the goal square. Quassi dragged it in. Lucky to handball it away. Weber has a go now for the Dogs. 25 metres out from the Gisborne goal. Quassi gets smothered. Ricochets away toward McCarty. He soccers it out toward the boundary line and again spins on its end, stays in play. 40 metres out from the Dogs' goal. Keeping it alive there was Slater. He kicked it back into traffic. Eventually it did ricochet out. And it'll be a throw in 45 metres around from the Gisborne goal in the left forward pocket. Storm 7-7. Lead the Dogs 5-7 through 5.5 minutes in the third.
So it'll be a ball in. Ball holds up in the breeze. Blake grabs it out of the air. He puts it over the top right hand. Brancazziano loses possession. Now it'll be the Storm to bring it the other way through Gill. Gill to the wing, one-on-one contest. Shannon Geary getting involved again. He was front and centre. Short pass was poor. He coughs it up. So the Dogs now will bring it back the other way. Short pass to Blake was poor. Good intercept by Stevens of the Storm. Puts a fist on it. Goes over the boundary line and we'll have a ball in. Still propped on that outer side wing scoreboard side. 37 Gisborne, Storm 49. 6 minutes gone, third term.
The Gisborne women's team out at half time in the centre circles, taking on Sunbury in the local women's competition. After this game finishes up, great job of integrating their women's side into things down here at Gardner Reserve. The stoppage, Cardi, Slater, and ball to Simpson, who was worried out of it. Now Lakey, he goes over the top. Fox had a play on the ball for the Dogs, just tried to paddle it back in through the traffic. Graham dives in, lays the tackle. One crosses the arms. It says, give it to me in front of the scoreboard. Kilmore Road win here at Gardner Reserve. Season opener, grand final rematch. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. Graham sees it out toward the boundary line where it again be tossed back in, still centre wing.
The ground manager must be expecting it to get a bit darker later in the night because the lights have come on to make it easier as the day goes on.
So the ball is thrown in now. Blunt, a fresh area out of the area which he missed in the shark by Wilson, Riley Wilson. He kicked it to a teammate in Harvey. Harvey will now go into the pocket. The lead was there by Exel, who gets up gingerly. Dogs will repel. Short pass. Target. Weber. Weber collected and then lost it. Now it's a Storm. Hurry kick. McCarty off the half forward. Now we're 30 metres out from goal. Harvey. He got his foot to it somehow. And now they all drive on top of Jed Danahy, who was the recipient of that ball. A little bit of feeling.
Yeah, Jed was.
Storm might get a bit of a free kick here. You go ahead, Norm. Storm will.
Yeah, Jed was thinking that if he stood there after marking it, the umpire had paid the mark, but it wasn't to be.
Brian Sharp were having a couple of words among all that. Back around the football. Kick inside forward 50 for the Storm. Gisborne players apply. Appeal for deliberate. Not going to happen.
Strath's pressure in this second half's gone up a notch to what it was in the first quarter, and they're not giving Gisborne a chance to get any loose balls.
I reckon Excel's gone down with an injury here, Norm. Have a look in that forward pocket underneath the big tree. We don't know what type of tree it is, but pretty sure that's Excel.
It is.
Looking at a left ankle.
He landed awkwardly in the last marking contest, Joel, and John alluded to it, and now he's being helped off by the trainer.
Helped off the ground. It doesn't look like he can put a lot of weight on it. We're going to just hold up play here because the kick might have landed right on his bonds if they sent it inside the forward 50.
He actually looks a bit distressed, Joel. And
yeah, that's not good news because I think he has had leg injuries before.
doesn't that change the dynamic of the forward setup that we've just been praising for the last hour or so?
Oh, well, it puts more pressure on Shiska to go down there and help Lockie Sharp and keep Strath in it. I mean, they got a 2-goal break, slippery conditions, as I just said. The lights have come on, and it'll be an interesting next 10 or 15 minutes.
That is a worry. Meanwhile, here's Lockie Sharp, who's 60 from home. He sends it high into the breeze. And the front of the pack are marked to the Storm. A pack of 8 players around the football. And you said he needed to stand up, Johnny. James Shishka's taken the mark. In fact, it's Powell, the ruckman.
Yeah, he positioned himself well there. He protected the fall of the ball and took a chest mark.
So Powell's got it, 15 out, and he slams it into the left-hand upright. Hits the post, minus score. Storm margin 13 points. And that's a big miss.
Yes, he did everything right in that marking contest. He sheltered the ball and was able to take a good chest mark.
So, it'll now be a long kick by the Dogs. Storm missed an opportunity here. Reaper took a mark. Now you put it into the path. Well, it's a foot race. Winning that foot race, Dogs Luxmore spins on the left, holds up in the breeze a little. Ineffective kick. Shishka, who is down the ground, takes a mark. It's contested. On the chest. You can hear the wind blowing through the effects night. Shishka, he spreads wide. Wind catches it, skids across the turf, out of bounds. 30 around from goal. The Dogs that they attack will have another ball in 50, playing 37, 11 minutes gone, third term. Footy fresh, is Bendigo football live.
Storm is still in charge. Gisborne by 8 points at quarter time. Storm by 6 at the half. Strathfieldsaye by 13, as Johnny told you. North wants some separation between the two rucks. Another boundary throw in forward pocket for the Dogs. Kicking to the club rooms end here in this third term. Bendigo hit the front. Harry Trott by 3 points. McCarty off the stoppage. Up and down the mine shaft inside. To back 50 and Webber reads it beautifully in flight. Pulls it into his chest 40 metres from home.
Yes, as that ball went up and down the elevator chute, he was the only one that was going to mark that. He was the only one that was watching. He moved nicely and was able to take a good chest mark.
He's already kicked one as Matt Webber. That was a brilliant goal in an end-to-end passage of play. Can he narrow the gap to 7 points here? He tugs it a little and it's not coming back. Minus score. Takes it back to a 12-point ball game. 5-8 the Dogs, 7-8 the Storm, 12 minutes played, third quarter. Pretty fresh as Bendigo football live.
Yeah, Webber will learn from that. He just got a bit too close to the man on the mark and had to kick up over the top instead of kicking through it.
Langford plays on from fullback. Storm, short pass. It's effective. He gets the old 1-2. Under pressure, handball over the top to Stevens. He's tackled. Dogs doing well. They'll lock it in. Doing very well. Picked up there by Webber again. He lost the footy, but he's got support. That support was through Luxmore. Now the Storm. They repel as well. Moorhead trying to get involved. Dogs, they take possession. It's a slippery ball. It somehow moved its way into the middle, and it's a hurried kick by the Dogs forward. Hands on the footy, Luxmore. Good, strong, contested mark. Wet footy, and he'll line them up for goal.
Yes, good work there by Gisborne. They learnt from the last exit out of their forward line. They put pressure on and they didn't allow the Strath players to run away like they did 5 minutes ago.
I must say, Norm, the pressure from both sides, because during that call, I said a number of times, they were both at it hard and they were both taking possession of the footy and then losing it through the pressure of the other side. So, good footy all round. It's Luxmore. Slow and deliberate, pops it through. Points to the sky as they tighten up the margin. It's now a 6-point margin to the Storm. They lead 7-8-50 to Gisborne, 6-8-44. We're halfway through this third term. Footy fresh. It's Bendigo football live.
And all that pressure work was made look good with Luke Allings, who put that ball up and he put it out to Luxford's advantage. And Luxmore was able to take a great mark and He certainly had a good goal kicking routine there, John. He kicked straight through the ball and over the top of the goal umpire's head.
Hit 70 of them last year in the under-18 competition. Norm, his first senior goal for Harry Luxmore on debut this afternoon. So lovely to see. A nice moment for the youngster. Every player on the ground for Gisborne come to celebrate with him. Wilson gets a kick forward for the Storm. Gee, that's a big bump, was sharp. Might have been in fact it was Shapano who laid out Lockie Sharp at centre half back for the Dogs.
It's okay.
And holding the ball paid by John Norton, so it'll be a free kick here to the Storm. Moorhead to take it. Just in front of the centre circles. It'll be 75 from home. Not a long ground here at Gardner Reserve. Loops the handball forward to Shannon Geary. Usually a good user of the footy. Kicks a long ball to full forward. Howell was up. Gill does the roving. Throws it on the left boot around the body to full forward. Ratcliffe has a play at it. Reaper was dragged down without the ball. And the Dogs defender will get a free kick. It might be Jenkins back there who's going to take it for Gisborne from the back pocket. Ships it short, finds Merritt.
Merritt with the footy. He'll go over the top with a short pass, but it's come off the side of the boot. It's either a ball in or it's pretty close. Not in fact a ball in. Poor disposal. Just the slightest of light rain coming down, and it has for the majority of this third term. Just beginning to make things a little bit slippery. 50 metres out from goal. Storm attacking. Ball is punched into the corridor. Dogs under pressure. Hurried kick to the outer side wing. Slippery footy. Spear gets there first. Couldn't collect it, but Storm did well the other way. Oh, now it's been coughed up. Hurriedly by Spear. The Dogs. He kicks it. But it's a Storm mark. It's taken by Hanlon. Hanlon goes long now to half forward. They'll set themselves. Shiskel's the target. Good defensive punch. Spear puts it over to Vanderline. Across half forward. Now we'll have a ball there. 44 playing 50. Gisborne trail by that solitary goal. 16 and a half gone, third term.
So Jack Exell's got the ice on down the bench. You can see him with his left leg raised and he's got the foot under a towel. So good news for the young Storm forward. Getting impression in the early stages of his club debut this afternoon. Free kick in the contest here going to Harvey. In fact, that's McCarthy for Strathfieldsaye. He gets on the left peg, kicks a low ball inside the 50. Reaper, beautifully read. Plucking it out of the air. Intercepts for the Dogs. Skipper this season, taking over from Pat McKenna, the premiership captain, sends it wide toward Luxmore. Webb did well for the Storm. Contested in the air and then brought her in at ground level. Mulquinny had a play at the ball. He couldn't take it with him. Jed Dennehy was there. Now Graham around the body, up toward Luxmore, kept it alive. Burke got shoved into the bench by Brereton. It'll be tossed back in front of Brad Fox watching on the Gisborne bench. 7-8-50 Strathfieldsaye, 6-8-44 Gisborne, 17 minutes played, third term. Footy fresh is been to go for ball line.
Lights are now blaring here at Gardner Reserve. They've turned them on in some pretty dull conditions. Dogs looking to move it forward. Good tackling. All tied up here. We'll have another ball up. So now across half forward. Right half forward for the Dogs as they attack to the club room's end. Graham, a little toe poker. Lakey getting involved. Dogs, Merritt's there as well. Hurried kick out of the pack. Shannon Geary swoops on it across the half back. He'll go into the middle. Oh, he's coughed it up and kicked it straight to the opposition, hasn't he? He has, Lord. But they've got the safety in numbers again. The Dogs will go forward. It kicks to the hot spot. Dennehy was the target. In fact, it was Luxmore who's had a lot of it. Now the Storm will bring it back the other way, receiving a mark is Riley Wilson.
So Wilson wants to move it on. Kicks toward Ratcliffe. Fighting for the ball is Merritt. Controls it eventually, ran into the opposite 35 and Mulquinny. Lakey goes through the middle. Free kick out in that contest. He's picked out to the Storm. Go to Lockie Sharp. He's got it at centre half back. He's kicked three. Zach down, he's kicked three for the Dogs. Jack Exell before leaving the field with injury, which looks to be a pretty serious one, but also kicked three for the Storm. Here's Bode Stevens. Kicks toward half forward, through the hands of Powell. Probably should have gobbled it up. Reaper was there to intercept for the Dogs. Wobbly kick from Burke, taken away by Blandford for the Storm. Into the centre of the ground now for Wilson. Spots his man up. A lateral kick into the corridor. Wilson goes low and flat toward half forward. Spear with a clearing fist, only as far as Sharp. Shoots it out to half forward. Shishka play on it. His handball was knocked down in the air. Nice bit of work by Merritt, who kept it alive for Gisborne. Vescovi had a go. Got it out to Graham, who tried to soccer it off the ground on the wing. Malbuni pushed him off the football. In fact, it was Webb in there. Great tackle from Graham, who's on for the afters with Shannon Deary after winning the free kick. Graham for the Dogs, kicks short. Scovey dives into mark. 1 goal ball game. Into time on here in this third term. Spears handball. Away from its intended recipient in Lord, who eventually butted up and got the footy back. Now a wide ball to Jenkins, who's at right half forward, pokes it into the pocket. It was an awful kick at the end, and it set Luxmore too strong a task, and it goes out of play for a throw in.
Yes, Gisborne's starting to control this game. It's living in their forward half for most of the quarter, but their disposal, that final kick, is letting them down badly.
45 metres around from the Gisborne goal at the club room's end. Ball spun back into play. Simpson up. Eels wins it down. Lakey to Graham. Cruising through. He almost missed his boot. He's had an absolute shocker there to Sam Graham, and Mitch Allen letting you know all about it. 5-point margin at the weight of the Storm.
Yeah, it was ineffective, wasn't it, to say the least, as the ball goes back into the middle, swooped on it by Wilson. Riley Wilson's been pretty good. He's got a one-on-one contest there, bouncing footy, socket off the ground, it's goal. Storm have got a goal here, have they? They will. A kick off the ground, and it's gone through. I'll just pick up who it was for you. I think it might have been Powell. It was, and he's popped it through. So coast to coast footy now. We go to the Storm 8-8-56. The Gisborne 6-9-45. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
It doesn't matter how you get it there, a couple of off the grounds, and it was young Wilson who broke through the centre, had a bounce and then a lovely kick forward, and it was Alex Powell, that was able to lead his Gisborne opponent a merry dance, and kicked it off the ground once, rolled it into the goal square and then put it through.
So 2-1 in this third term. Moorhead out of the middle for the Storm. Moves it forward again with a clearing kick. Bills is in the way for the Dogs. Simpson, Allings for Gisborne. Well done from Webber. Nice bit of work. Got it through the contest. Spear came up at the football. Now Merritt has a go. Handball's back to Lakey. Lakey to centre half forward. Eel stretches, can't mark. Jed Dennehy. He tried to keep it alive. Slapped it on. Big push on Ryan Burke off the football there, who goes to turf. And then Fox couldn't keep it in. Will eventually go out for a throw in. Right half forward for, left half forward for the Dogs. 8-8-56 the Storm, Gisborne 6-9-45, an 11-point spread, 23 minutes played in the third.
Lake has front position, he tapped it to the back of the pack to Lakey. Lakey got besieged. Storm under pressure here, trying to make a path as Clossy did well. Geary offers support, shoveled out a handball to Riley Wilson. He goes off one step, an awkward looking ball to half forward. Sharp swoops on it for the Storm. He goes goalward. Oh, it's straightening up and it's a big one. It's his fourth. Geez, they look good when they're out the Storm, don't they? Their game style is right up to scratch, early days. 9-8-62, Storm lead Gisborne 6-9-45, 23 and a half gone, third term.
Yes, when you're in a tight situation, it's the cream that rises to the top. First off, through the midfield, Shannon Geary knocked the ball to himself, went past a Gisborne player, picked it up, spotted up Sharp nicely. He ran onto it, and a lovely kick, which he bounced from about 40 metres out.
And he knew it as soon as it left his
He
boot.
knew where it was going, that's right.
He's seen all that before as Rocky Sharp. Fourth for him today. Gisborne have not kicked back-to-back goals at any stage today, and the game is now at a game-high lead of 17 points. Moorhead rips it out of the centre again for the Storm. They are really coming with a rush here. Bills tries to stand up in defence for the Dogs. Ball's dragged in at the bottom of the pack. It'll be tossed up. Centre half forward for Strathfieldsaye. 3 goals to 1 in the term. The last 2 of the game for the Storm. Really threatening to break things open now. Moorhead's at the stoppage. Burke takes it for the Dogs. Handball off, a wide kick from Vescovi. Played there from Mays, who tried to take it with him. Left it behind. Jed Denner, he has a go. This handball doesn't get to its intended recipient. And will be tossed back into play in front of the scoreboard.
It was good work by the big ruckman then. He was able to get down and pick the ball up, but wasn't able to dodge around an opponent.
17 points, the lead of the Storm. 25 gone, third term. Sandhurst have hit the front of the QEO by 2 points. 3-6 placed, 3-4 over Kangaroo Flats. All low scoring in Bendigo footy today. South Bendigo by 4 points over Eagle Hawks, 6-7 placed 6-3. Maryborough by a point over Castlemaine, 1-7 placed 1-6. And Golden Square by 61 now over Kyneton. So a dominant start to the season for the Bulldogs. From the stoppage, Ellings inside 50, played 2 hands to it, knocked away. Good defence from Webb. And a throw in deep forward here for Gisborne. Trying to peg one back. And love one, maybe 2 before 3/4 time. Trail by 17 points as it stands. Ball's flung back in by the boundary umpire. Eels through the pack, touched by Halloran. Through for a rush, -4.
Yes, that was a good touch by Helen in there because I think that was on its way through.
6 goals, 10-46. That's 1-8-62. 26 minutes played here in this third term. Rossi's got it for the Storm inside the defensive 50. Wants to shift it across the line and does. Looping 50-metre kick finds Shannon Geary. Chips it on toward Harvey. Just inside his defensive arc. Right half back.
Shannon Geary's been the difference this quarter.
He's been terrific as the veteran. Harvey thinks it long up the line. Good marks taken. Stevens floating in for the Storm. Wants to move it quickly up toward Ratcliffe. And Vescovi stood in the way. Was there a free kick in there?
Yeah, holding to Vescovi.
And it will go to the Dogs, as you say, Norm. So Vescovi cuts his kick in field to Lakey. Lakey back to Vescovi and back to Lakey. Ran into trouble. Found his way out of it. Vescovi outlets wide. Trying to build the football up with a little bit more patience now to the Dogs. Macklin Lord's got it, takes a bounce, maybe not the conditions for it, but it came back to him okay. Left foot kick inside the 50, no one home. Mays, 2 hands, can't mark. Orr does well on the last line. Webb might be keen to walk this across, he's forced across in the end. And it'll be a throw in this time, deep in the right forward pocket for Gisborne. Good pressure from Ben Eels to force that over the boundary line. 27.5 played third term. Storm by 16. Gisborne deep inside forward 50. Bit on behind the football as well between Clossy and Graham. Meantime, McCarty picks himself up off the bottom of the pack. Gives it back to the umpire. Tossed up. Eels down to that man Geary again. Clearing kick for the Storm. Wilson sockers it off the ground, gains 40 metres for Strathfieldsaye. Jenkins got pushed through the pack by Wilson. And so it'll be a free kick. And 50
for, yeah. Yes, it's not going to be tolerated anywhere, either when you dispute the decision or when you show dissent towards the umpire, and that was shown then. And unfortunately, the Strath player pays the penalty, and we've got an easy shot at goal for Gisborne, 15 metres out.
So Matt Jenkins played 8 senior games last year, Norm, didn't kick a goal. Played in the reserves grand final for the Dogs. He's had a couple of kicks today and they have not looked all that flash. This is a big moment. Right foot kick from close range. And he missed. He's missed it on current form. He never really looked like he was going to be much of a chance. 9-8-62 the Storm. Gisborne 6-11-47. They've given away a couple of very makeable opportunities, the Dogs. just go into this tempo possession mode. They've done so well for such a long time when they've needed to. Slater handball over the top to Harvey. Now they move it with some pace. Harvey to Moorhead, to Webb, who draws his player and then feeds the handball to Harvey. And Harvey kicks up the line, finds Powell. In fact, it's Simpson who's floated in. Simpson goes inside forward, 50, Powell juggles the mark. Is it paid? No. They dive on top of him after he brings it to ground and we'll have a ball up. Right on the forward 50 for Strathfieldsaye. Gisborne players there is either a touch injured or struggling to put a boot back on.
I think he might be trying to get rid of the cramp. He was pushing those toes up.
So into the 30-minute mark now of this third term. Again, we're going to have another ball up.
Once again, in that last passage of play, it was Shannon Geary that started it all, Joel, and he kept control of that football.
This third term is Shannon Geary solved the storm, and they get to three-quarter time with a 15-point break to Strathfieldsaye. 3-1 in the third quarter. And after they trailed by 8 points at quarter time, they led by 6 at half time. And they go to the final change up by 15 points. The Storm 9-8-62 to Gisborne 6-11-47. Lockie Sharp has 4 goals for the Storm. Zach Dennehy has 3 for Gisborne. 3 goals also to Jack Exel for Strathfieldsaye, but he has left the ground with what looked to be a lower leg injury to his left leg. He will not be returning this afternoon. So they are a player down on the bench, Strathfieldsaye, a key player at that, but they lead by 15 points for the quarter to go in the grand final replay. It's going to be a cracking last term. 15-point lead to the Storm. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Central Victoria radio stations. Time
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
Time. Joel Peterson, John Hunt and Norm Jenkins with you here at Gardner Reserve. Great to have your company on 101.5 throughout Central Victoria or wherever you're listening via the TuneIn app. It's been a chilly day down here at Gardner Reserve, as most people would anticipate at this time of year. There's too many summery trips to Gardner Reserve when it's time for footy season. It's the Storm by 15 points. Who's kicked goals in this one so far, Johnny?
Well, for the Gisborne Bulldogs, Zach Dennehy, he's kicked 3 and singles to Luxmore, Burt and Webber. Lockie Sharp's had a day out so far. He's kicked 4. Exel's kicked 3, and of course Exel won't kick anymore because he looks like he's got a pretty serious ankle injury. And singles to Alex Powell and Baxter Slater.
Walking into the Strathfieldsaye Storm forward line.
Couldn't be, could it?
No, it's not.
It's the Lockie kid.
Yes.
Saw someone out there in blue boots, he got an almighty shock.
I picked Lockie out earlier for John, and he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And
Normally better players for the Storm
well,
at three-quarter time?
the best player for them in that quarter was Shannon Geary. He became the general down back. He directed them. He directed the play and where they were going to go. Moorhead had a bit of it, and so did Riley Wilson. I thought Powell, when Exel went off, Powell stood up forward. Of course, Lockie Sharp and Callum McCarty has continued his good form.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruxmore had a busy third term for the Dogs. Brigade that has to get them going here. Final term underway. Storm by 15 points. Here's Johnny.
It was Blake in the right, but it was swooped on by Moorhead. Come off the side of the boot. Graham got his hands on the balls for the Dogs. Couldn't quite collect it. Lord did well for the Dogs. He's got numbers. And receiving a hurry kick out of the pack was Normington. He's on left half back. Lights are on here. Looks to go wide. Not corridor. Just sneaks over the back of the pack. Eels tracks it towards the boundary line, taps it to the back door looking for Fox. They've kept it in nicely. A hurry kick to the hot spot now. Big chance, but floating across the front of the pack. Looks like is that McCarty? He's down and he goes wide towards Blanthorne. Blanthorne will bring it down the wing.
It's long up towards Shishka, who pulls in the chest mark in front of the scoreboard, moves it immediately because he sees Lachlan Sharp by himself, couldn't take the mark, then got shoved over by Vescovi and earns a free.
Well, I actually thought he slipped himself and went forward. I didn't think he got a push at all.
Well, I thought might be, and I thought it was a trip, so there's 3 different versions there, but somewhere in between we're right, I reckon.
Well,
John Hunter was the adjudicator with the power on that occasion.
Yeah.
And Lachlan Sharp's got a free kick, left forward pocket, 30 from home, tight angle. Storm by 15. Sharp's got 4 so far. And he grazes the inside of the goal post. He struck it and then waited and leant on it. And it just didn't do what he wanted. He usually has such command over the ball. 16 points the Storm lead, minute and a half gone to Lux.
Normington Dogs. He'll step outside the square and play on. Now he goes, runs his measure, sends it up to the wing. They'll set themselves, big pack forms. McCarty swoops on it, Storm, one way then the next, around the body. Sharp is the target, under pressure, Vescovi. Dribbles along the boundary line, keeps it in. Flynn Lakey for the Dogs getting involved. But an intercept mark again by McCarty. On the wing, Storm looking to launch again. They look so dangerous down up forward. Even without Exel, who's off injured, they still have that potency down there. They set themselves. Big punch from behind. Ellings did well for the Dogs. It's still in. Ellings received a handball. That came from Spear. Long kick down the wing. Whistle on play. Storm. Is it going to be McCarty again?
Yeah.
He's racking up the possessions and he'll send it again forward for the Storm.
back toward Webb, who's been good on the boot. Now Hallinan, so unlucky to miss the grand final last year with injury. Moves it back to Webb, who tried to reel it in with one hand, then had to turn tackler pretty quickly. Did a good job of that. Looked the football up on the front point of the square.
Yes, just turned the Gisborne player nicely sideways and didn't drive him into the ground.
Gone final term, Storm by 16 points. Simpson in ruck, then Leicester out there for the Storm this afternoon. So Simpson brought in as cover as a bit more tall timber. Squeezing kick through the back, taken by Slater for Strathfieldsaye. Shares the handball with Gill. Now inboard to Moorhead, usually uses it well. That no exception. Back to Gill, looking for Slater by hand inside forward 50 now for the Storm. Didn't connect. It's taken away by Lakey, who combines by hand with Spear. Now out to Webber, who kicks to half forward.
And they set themselves good defensive punch from behind for the Dogs, going from Jed Danahy. Good to see the forward doing what he has to do when he has to. A big fist, puts it over the boundary line, and we'll have a ball in. One of the coaches' boxes. Gloomy skies. Rain is managing to sneak away for the moment. Graham received a handball from Blake. Dogs will go forward again. Hot spot. McCarty picks it up for the Storm. They'll repel over the top, offering support. It's good work by Gill. Moves to the wing. Head over the footy. Good work, Storm. Squeezing out the handball in the direction of Mel Quinney. He's got time and space. Ball kick, diving mark. There's a slip catch by Connor Bills of the Dogs. Did very, very well.
Judged it well. Sent out line to Ellings. Awkward kick off the side of the boot. Batted down by Wilson. He can pop it into space for Powell. Strong grab with Graham closing with intent. Now moves it to Harvey. Kicks to full forward. Shishka in front. Spear with a big fist to clear the danger area. Vescovi sockets toward the boundary line. Will be thrown back in. Left forward pocket. Back pocket for Gisborne. Right forward pocket for the Storm. 30 around from the Strathfieldsaye goal. Leading by 16 points. Simpson reaches over the top. Moorhead left it behind. Fossey has a go. Somehow got rid of it. Bounced back to himself. Got it to Harvey. Harvey's kick to full forward. Bill's draped all over Slater. Ball on the deck at full forward for the Storm. Powell comes crashing out. Moorhead boots the ball. Well done from Vescovi, who got a desperate fist to it on the last line. Saw it through for a rush behind. Makes it an equal game high 17-point lead to Strathfieldsaye. 9-10 playing 6-11, 6 minutes gone, final term. Footy fresh, he's been got football line.
Spear is the footy for the Bulldogs. He'll go short, still in the defensive 50, receiving footy for the Dogs was Vescovi. He now will look to switch into the corridor, safe and effective to half-back. Chest mark for Webber. Webber short pass. We're building something here, Dogs. Chapano, footy. In fact, it's Grant Cazziano. Plays on. Awkward looking kick comes off the side of the boot. They'll set themselves. Webb did well for the Storm. To the front of the pack, offering support was Stevens. Whistle on play, hands and knees. Moore is amongst it as well. Across half forward. For the Bulldogs, we'll have a ball up. 47 playing 64, Storm leads, 6.5 minutes gone on final time.
Significantly darker last sort of 5 or 10 minutes. Start off particularly bright. Either the artificial light is taking some effect now. Ratcliffe at half forward for the Storm. Loops the handball to Moorhead, to Slater, who kicks to full forward, floats over the head of Powell. Again, it's the hand of Liam Spear. Has played such a key role in defence so far. He knocks it through for a minor score. It's an 18-point lead to Strathfieldsaye. It's as big as the lead's been all day.
Spear now. A lot of kicking into the footy, 22 occasions we've called it. Spear gets the old 1-2, receives the handball. Got it back from Vescovi, but it's a poor kick out of the defensive zone, diving mark. And again, the Storm.
They've got a good defence. They've got a good defence set up and not allowing Gisborne out.
Quinney went to Moorhead. Moorhead on half forward, a long high ball looking for Sharp. It's 2-on-1, big fist attempt at the back by Reaper, missed everybody, bounces over the boundary line and right in front of us broadcast. We're going to have the ball in 20 metres around the goal, the Storm are attacking.
Just about finishing with one here. Neither side has kicked a goal on this final term. Gisborne's had very limited opportunities in their attacking half of the ground. 11 players who were in that grand final triumph for the Dogs not out there today. As they clear the ball outside the defensive 50 this time, and it goes out for a throw in.
Record time in North Central, Joel Donald against Richard-proof 5-4-34, Richard-proof 7-3-45.
Anyway, it's close footy in the North Central Free League. We know from years of updates from Grant Leon Holt. Storm take possession here. Slater had a play on the ball. It's picked up by Gill, who shoots it goalward and slides across the face. He's thrown back into play. Left forward pocket, right up against the behind post. Storm by 18 points, 9 minutes played in the last two.
And after that last contest over on the boundary in this pocket, Ben Eales was slow to his feet, but he's back up and running now.
Ball is thrown in as the Storm attack. Sharp's being held off the footy. Moorhead. Gary Moorcroft hasn't played for 30 years. As the ball comes to the boundary line, Spear receives. Back to one Spear from Vescovi. Almost it there also is Blakey. Receiving a handball to Scovey again. They're asking the umpire Norton, giving the free kick to Storm players, but they have nothing of that.
No, Storm knocked that out of the Gisborne players' hands. It was Lord there that had the ball knocked out.
Umpire throws it in. Big punch by Merritt of the Dogs doing some ruck work. Moorhead trying to make a path. Hurry kick out of the pack to the hot spot. Good work, Reaper. Oh, he punched it into the direction of Gill. Gill was there offering support, also was Powell. Powell handball it further afield to Clossy. And good defensive work. It might have been overzealous.
Got a high tackle.
He did everything right except for execution. Did Jed Danahy, gives away a free kick. And that free kick goes to Daniel Clossy, who'll line them up at a pretty tricky distance in these conditions.
It was interesting with probably the biggest player on the ground trying to tackle one of the smallest, and it just didn't work.
No, not quite. Golden Square, Hamish Morecambe has kicked 3 goals too, so not known for his big bags. Let's get back here to Gardner Reserve. Clossy holds up, it's straight, and it's a beautiful finish in the end. He liked it off the boot, he judged the conditions perfectly and pops another one through for the Storm. So the Storm will now go to 10-11-71. They lead Gisborne 6-11-47. 11 minutes gone, final turn, footy fresh, is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, Clossy had the excellent conditions there to kick that ball in. The wind has almost died to nothing now, and I think it's only going to be a matter of time, hopefully not for the next 20 minutes before we start to get a bit heavier precipitation coming down.
Might rain as well.
It may well do too, John.
Lovely kick from Clossy. It'll take something rather monumental from here for the Dogs. Tarski just might be beyond them. Merritt's now shifted into the ruck for Gisborne. The Storm taken out of the middle once more. Sharp work for Scovey under the ball. Scovey stayed right there with him every step of the way. Sharp handball over his head. Ratcliffe gets the set up, drives the stake through the heart of the Dogs. 30-point lead now for Strathfieldsaye. And Ratcliffe's blown the candles out on this one. 11-11-77 to Gisborne 6-11-47. 12 played, final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
And that all started back in the centre of the ground from that ruck tap where the architect of the third quarter, Shannon Geary, was able to get the ball. He trapped it well. He got a quick kick into the forward line where Clossy got it forward and Ratcliffe made the most of it.
They're up against it here, the Dogs, because the Storm are going to come forward again. The kick inside, forward 50. Sharp is lurking, used his body. Good work defensively, Vescovi. A hurried kick out of the pack goes towards the boundary line. It's gone 50 metres and the Storm players are asking for Well, it's not deliberate anymore,
No,
but insufficient attempt.
We haven't seen one of them paid all day, and it was interesting that both umpires signalled between each other before he signalled throw in.
The orchard is coming out in uniform. Obviously, when the wind drops like this and there's big rain clouds, the rain is coming. You can't see the dogs getting back in this one. Conditions don't suit and they're not playing well enough. Storm are on their game. Hurry kick out of the pack. Spear did well. Up and under. Underneath it. Might be Luxmore with the footy. I'll go along again. Inside forward 50 and defensive marks being taken. That's why the Storm full haul.
Yeah, once again, Gisborne didn't put their ball to the advantage of their leading forward.
So solid back there today, Strathfieldsaye. Blake has chopped this one off for the Dogs, sends a goal. It's bouncing out of play in the left forward pocket.
Yes, the ball's gone down the other end, but you feel all the momentum when the ball comes out of packs is with Strath as we go into the last 10 minutes of this game.
One goal since half time for the Dogs. Strathfieldsaye kicked the last 4 on the bounce. And they've got a 30-point lead here in this final term. John Norton crosses his arms as Brent Catazano picks himself up off the turf. It's thrown aloft again. Blake out of the ruck contest. Jams it on the boot. It won't have the legs, and it's seen through for a rush behind by Webb. On the very last line, 29 points the margin. Gisborne 6-12-48. Strathfieldsaye 11-11-77. 14 minutes played. Final term here at Gardner Reserve.
Well, all over bar the shout and big. Webb, short pass. Blandford, he's been pretty good for the Storm.
First score for the final term for the Dogs there, John, as well.
Yeah. Dare I say, you being the #1 ticket holder and resident down in these areas, you tipped against them, you've tipped this job. I'll be interested in your thoughts after the game, why it was so, because you've got it pretty right. As defensively, a big punch has seen the ball over the boundary line, halfway between centre wing and right half forward as the Dogs attack. 48 playing 77, 15-minute line, final term.
I didn't want to bring it up, but I just think this is a really young Gisborne team. Like if you took the average age of this Gisborne team, so I reckon it'd be somewhere near 21 or 22.
Yeah.
It's just not. They don't have the experience, and I mean their experienced players are the guys like Jack Reaper. Jack Reaper's not old. Shannon Geary, Lockie Sharp, these kind of guys. There is just that level of experience and leadership out there for Strathfieldsaye that I reckon Gisborne has, but it's on the sidelines at the moment.
Yeah, they'll get better as the year goes on, Gisborne, that's for sure.
We're going to get some big players back, McKenna and Lynch and Seth Valbartels to come back into this Gisborne team as well. So be strengthened as the year goes on. Little kick around the body here from Brent Catazano as the Dogs have worked it inside the forward 50. Again, the Storm defence is able to stand strong. Webb on the last line, toes to behind line. Handball over the top to Mays. Now to Harvey, who's been good upon return. Neat little kick around the body, finds forward just inside the defensive 50 for Strathfieldsaye. Up by 29 points, 16 played in the last.
He's got a heavily strapped right knee, Hawk. He'll spread it wide. Spots up Gill. Gill now, Storm to Geary. Neat short pass. Had time and space, now he's away. Short pass to Shishka, one bounce. Kind of clean bowled him, but Geary was offering support. Had his head over the footy. Merrins did well. Feeds it out. Ellings going to the middle. Dogs looking to launch here again. Kick is smothered by Brancatiano. Now it spills wide. Ratcliffe soccers the ball off the ground. Inside forward 50. Where's Sharp? He will be lurking. Reaper overran the footy. There's Sharp. Somehow managed to bang it on the boot. And I tell you what, it missed, but not by much. He's always dangerous. Minor score, the Storm, they extend the lead. 11-12-78 to Gisborne 6-12-48. 17 gone final term.
Mills just waltzes in from full back. Spears a little bit sore off the footy. Who's been taking most of the kick-ins today. Spills to Allings of the Dogs here, who can generate some run. Loops the handball inboard to Jed Dennehy, who feeds it back out wide to Graham, who's 45 from home. Standing start, misses right. On the score, he might have been a little bit closer than that in the end, Sam Graham. 6 goals, 13-49 Gisborne. Trail by 29 points, the Storm 11-12-78.
Yes, it's been all Storm in this last quarter. We went in with equal scoring shots at three-quarter time, but now Storm have got a comfortable three-shot buffer on the Gisborne side.
Webb kicks it in from full-back for the Storm. Short pass to Clossy. Clossy will go wide to the back pocket. Done this well all afternoon, the Storm, looking to build. It's a long ball. Set themselves. Good strong mark contested. Jenkins for the Dogs. Kicks it long. Back inside forward 50. Blake got hands on the footy. Shapano, he was front and centre. Fed a handball out to Graham. Graham goes deep further into the pocket, 15 metres out from goal. Oh, a two-step round the body, and I reckon a goal's been kicked by the Bulldogs. Pick up the play for you. Luxmore, who's been really good this afternoon for his second. So just adds one to their score. That's too little too late. 7-13-55. Gisborne trail 11-12-78. Yeah, we've approached the 20-minute mark for final time.
Who's going to Normie? What did you made of Harry Luxmore's day?
I've liked the way he's gone about it, Joel. He's a target up forward. He can be a target up forward. He's lively. He's a good mark, and he's also good at ground, as we saw then. He brought that ball to ground. The Strathfieldsaye defence there, they were at 6s and 7s. They had 3 Gisborne players to look after. They kicked the ball to Luxmore, and he made them pay.
A handy prospect for the future for the Gisborne Footy Club. Senior debut this afternoon, a couple of goals to his name. Ellings out of the middle, might get another chance here because he's on the end of that. That is an absolute laser from Ellings out of the centre, and Luxmore sliding out on the 50, pulls it in.
There's still a little sniff if he can kick this one. We went back to 17 points.
The spot where the 50 is in relation to man on the mark. He's probably just going to have to kick from just inside the 50. Gives the calf a little bit of a stretch as he makes his approach. Of course, one plays out of the under 18s, the first game of full-time on quarters they played. So Luxmore will strike it with the right boot from right on the 50. It's a lovely looking kick. It just doesn't have the carry. They fly forward in the goal line. Gills back there for the Storm. Handball around the body to Shishka. This kick works out at the end. Is sliding into mark is the prolific Cal McCarty at half-back for Strathfieldsaye.
We're keeping stats today, and we'll be able to look it up later. It'll be interesting to see how many's had, because it's been a lot. Sharing it around in the back half now, the Storm looking to build again. On the end of a short pass, Slater. Right half-back, hard up against the boundary line. Short pass, Harvey receives. Harvey, short back to the player that just passed it to him, so they're playing a little bit of kick to kick here. I like the way that Storm are setting up, not wanting to give up the footy. They've done it all afternoon until they've got a true path. They don't kick it until they really have to. Front and centre. Powell had a lot of the footy. They've got the numbers here. Moorhead, handball. Receiving was Powell. Further afield, further wide. Just out of the reach of fingertips there, of course. But defensively, the Dogs do the right thing with Burt. Puts it over the boundary line. There'll be a ball in 40 around from the Storm goal.
Yes, Hoare tried to take the chestnut bit. He probably would have been better letting the ball bounce and then track it to the boundary line instead of losing his feet and being out of the contest.
Princess Park, Maryborough won 10 over Castlemaine. He tied at Harry Trott Oval. He will walk by 5, 50 place 45 against South Bendigo. Plays the tackle here. Targeted the lead all day in that game at Harry Trott Oval. The Kiwi though, Kangaroo flat back ahead by 4 points over Sandhurst, 5-5 to 4-7. Golden Square still holding a big lead over Kyneton by 63. The ball's forced across the boundary line. Now to play.
Yeah, just noticing these last couple of passages of play, there's some tired boys out there that can hardly lift their legs.
Deep forward pocket. It's been a grueling start for both of these teams. Blakey takes off the stoppage, clearing kick. Halloran couldn't mark for the Storm. Zach Dennehill hands and knees, shovels the handball into the centre of the ground. Graham had a run but for Gisborne, couldn't take it with him. Moorhead fights for it, he's dragged down by Graham. So the key protagonists in the middle for their respective sides today. And we'll have a baller. Strathfieldsaye by 23 points. They lost the grand final by 20 last time these two sides met, the 23-minute mark of the last.
Still in the middle, Webb, a hurry kick out of the pack for the Storm in the direction of Stevens. Stevens goes around the body now. It's one-on-one. Reaper has got possession of the footy. He's fleet of foot. Howe was, well, I won't say vicious, but it was a good, strong tackle and good on him. As the ball now, well, it's a free kick. Cross half back to Lakey. Lakey gives it by hand to Jenkins. Jenkins further afield to Graham. Graham back to Bills. Bills now building. Burt. Burt for the Dogs to half forward. He was looking for Luxmore. Come off his hands. Back of the pack, Moorhead. Storm. By hand, Geary. Geary with the Storm, an up and under kick. It was poor. A rare mistake by Geary. Gives it to Vescovi. Vescovi inside forward 50. Dogs. Good mark by Luxmore, and he's going to get another look at goal, albeit at a pretty tight angle.
It is a pretty tight angle, but he was the leading goal kicker under 18s last year. He's had many looks at goal like this in the last 12 months. It'll be interesting to see what he's learned about the wind conditions today too.
He's standing at 53 metres. Crosses the paint mark. He's slow, he's deliberate. It's going to be a drop punt. The wrong side for a right footer. The umpire gets right underneath it. Makes no mistake. And great goal by the young man. That's his third of the afternoon. And Norm, you tipped it might be not quite over. This must be about 5 or 6 minutes remaining, because the score now has gone to 8-13-61, 11-12-78, and I guess if they're good enough, there's enough time.
Yeah, well, you take Lee Matthews' theory, a goal a minute, you've got 3 minutes to go, 3 goals wins you the game. There's probably more like 7 or 8 minutes to go in this quarter, which gives them plenty of time, but they've got to get the ball out of the centre.
Have been a little bit stronger in that area here in this final turn, but well, the Storm guns all combined. Moorhead flips it up to Allen and kicks to half forward. McCarty made the mark in the end. Might have been touched on the way through, potentially.
Well, I think when he went to ground, the ball bobbled out and then he grabbed it again.
Jenkins was right there with him.
Because up to that stage, the umpire had the whistle in the mouth.
Peterson, John Hunter, Norm Jenkins with you on Footy Fresh, Bendigo Football Live, round 1 here at Gardner Reserve. Storm led by 30 points twice in this term. He's going to close to 17, 25 and a half minutes through the last. Run the ball up, gloomy skies, windy overcast conditions all throughout the day here at Gardner Reserve. Burke runs onto it for the Dogs, handball to Allings. Allings drives his right foot kick to half forward.
Too big, too
Read
strong.
easily by Hall, who can open things up for the Storm the other way.
It's Gill who received. McCarty, geez, he's done some hard running. He receives on the wing. He must have run 70 metres in, I reckon. As he goes inside, he must have been tired because of the poor kick. He kicks it straight to Reaper of the Dogs.
We've got super work here.
Goes wide, cross half back. In fact, deeper than that. Vescovi straightens up into the middle. Are they out? They are. Good bit of work by Spear. Spear to short pass. Dogs are building something. On the end of it, it was Spear again. Short toward goal. Bouncing ball. And this game is on. There is enough time. The Dogs are coming. 9-13-67. They trail 11-12-78. And as Norm said, there must be 3 or 4 minutes remaining in this game.
Yes, and that looked like circle work for the last couple of minutes until Matt Cassidy, when he got the ball in his back goal square, he went straight down the centre of the ground, and it was Liam Spear that ran onto it. He got the handball back and he kicked a lovely long goal. Everybody had come forward for Gisborne, plenty of space behind. He made the most of it.
Well, they hadn't kicked back-to-back goals all day, the Dogs. Now they've got 3 in a row right at the death. I said earlier they need something very, very special. We've got a couple of minutes left to try and pull this one out of the fire. All locked up in the middle again. Blake's gone into the ruck. Lakey's around the football. Webber's there as well. It was Blake down to Lakey. Jammed a kick on the boot. Hallinan rips it through the contest. to Stevens, high up and under, inside forward 50, terrific mark Jenkins. Sat under the football and bravely took it into his chest. Handball over the top to Bills, who rides the bump, got the handball away to Vescovi, didn't get the kick away, or umpire let it go. Slater picked it up. McCarty around the body, inside the 50 for the Storm. A fist on it. Is it going to be downfield?
Yeah.
It is. It's going to be a downfield free kick.
Saying he slung him after the ball, or as the ball was going.
McCarty was upended. And the free kick will go the way of Simpson.
That may just cut the Dogs' run. They had a bit of a run going there, kicked the last 3 goals, and they were heading out of defence as the off-ball umpire gave that decision.
He was the late inclusion today, George Simpson. He's got a shot from 40 out directly in front. He doesn't like it off the boot. It's a minor score and it makes the margin 12. 79 plays 67. 28.5 minutes gone in the last. It's go time for the Dogs.
It is, and that is 12, so that's 2 straight kicks, so a draw is on the cards as well. Blake emerges off half-back, gives it to Jenkins. Jenkins is to the wing, didn't look. Shiska is there for the Storm. He'll try to feed it over the top. They've got numbers. It's a long kick. Ratcliffe did well. In fact, it might have been Webb to half-back. Now, good work by the Dogs through Bills. Handballs to a teammate, puts him under pressure. Lord, still at ground level. Umpires letting it go. Half forward now for the Storm. They're still there though, the Dogs. Blake getting involved. Good strong tackle. Flicked out the back. Jenkins by hand. Into the middle, might have been a push. Umpire let it go, and it is a free kick that will go to the Dogs, and it'll be Burke to receive it.
Yeah, that was good work by Burke then. He put his body in front of the ball, and he just let the Strath player plummet straight into the back of him.
Needs to move it quickly.
Umpire won't let him.
Back around his mark. He chips it over the top. Blake with a play on it. Knocked away by Clossy. Feeds the handball out in the direction of Riley Wilson, who soccers it off the ground up toward half forward. Jenkins, the only man back there, has a fumble but has time to go back and collect. He stands stationary as they just guard space, the Storm defenders. Kicks up the Aiken Street side of the grounds. Through the hands there of Hallinan. Taken in the tackle. There's the siren. And the Storm have survived. The Bulldogs rally to turn the script on grand final day. And in the grand final replay, it's Strathfieldsaye who proved too good and opened their season with a victory. They hand Gisborne their first round 1 loss since 2017, 11-13-79 to Gisborne 9-13-67 in a final term that ran 30 minutes. It wasn't long enough for the Dogs, despite kicking the final 3 goals of the game. They ran out of time. And it's the Storm who record an opening round victory by 12 points here at Gardner Reserve.
Positive signs goal from the Gisborne Young Bulldogs. We had them written off, didn't we, with about 10 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden they got a sniff, and they quite could have easily pinched that at the end, but the way the Storm did play today, I was impressed by their movement of the footy. They've definitely had a change, a swing in the way that they play the game this season. They're holding the footy up a lot more and then waiting for gaps to appear, and that came about. I know that Exel didn't play for the majority of that second half, but that's come about by the fact that they've got those 2 forwards down there as well as Shiska. So terrific effort, and it was worthy of a grand final rematch, I reckon, Norm. Fantastic.
Oh, it was. It was an excellent game of football, and you say about the 2 forwards down there, and then Shiska. Don't forget Alex Powell, who goes forward and becomes a target too. So Strath, there's plenty to like about Strath. They've got a good forward line. They've got the experience down back, like Shannon Geary in that 3rd quarter. He showed them how to play the game. He directed them, and he continued on in the last quarter, and it was good to see. I like Callum McCarty. Excellent game today. I thought he was best on ground. Not by a long way in the end, but he was best on ground. He did drift out a little bit in that last quarter.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And berry plant will show you